through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. Well, the Golden State Warriors got us again.
On a double-team blitz, finds Draymond Green, pivots, throws to Thompson. Thompson rocks, fires, 18-footer, score the basket! 0.2 of a second to go. It's not Curry, it's the other splash brother. It's Klay Thompson.
The Sacramento Kings did hold the Golden State Warriors to a season-low 18 points in the third quarter, while Davion Mitchell broke out with 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 steals, in place of the injured De'Aaron Fox. In baseball, the Texas Rangers are World Series champions after winning Game 5 in Arizona. Corey Seager won his second World Series MVP with his second team, winning the 2020 MVP with the Dodgers and now 2023 with the Rangers. Those are your headlines. Reminder, all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Now it's time for Stiles and Watkins.
It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes, yes, yes. Or should I say no, no, no? Because
Definitely
there's
no.
no beam. Stiles and Watkins, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. Oh, my goodness. I just got to warn everybody right now. Chris and I are not on the same page right now.
No.
First time, 6th official show. First argument. It's not going to be pretty, but we're going to get through it. We got Kings talk. We got Kings Warriors talk. We got our guy Brendan Nunez at 11:30. We have Kevin Dana, G League, Santa Cruz Warriors, and Warriors Roundtable host at 12:45. And yeah, we got to do it. We got to do it. 12:15. This might be the most polarizing beaming or dreaming yet. Beaming or dreaming 12:15. Be a part of it. Hey, Chris, how you doing today?
Not so hot. Not so hot. I mean, come on. After that's the way that the Kings go down yesterday. I can't come in here, jumping off the wall or nothing like that. It's a good day to talk Kings. Of course, it was a really exciting game, and I think there are a lot of positives to take out of yesterday, and that's the mood I'm going to try and keep. Again, I'm known around here as a wet blanket. I'm going to try and keep it positive today, and I'm going to let you take the reins on trying to rain on this parade that we're just
rain on the parade.
Yeah, that's the vibe that you've been giving me this morning.
Because look, we're
doing this now.
No. Look, like I said, 12 o'clock, we were revisiting the keys from the game, okay? Yep. 12 o'clock, we were revisiting the keys. Spoiler alert, they hit most of the keys.
Yeah.
They hit most of the keys. You said, Chris, beautifully.
I did.
Keep Steph Curry under 30 points.
Yep.
How many points did Steph Curry have?
21.
21. Can you do something for me?
Please.
Steph didn't.
No.
Klay Thompson couldn't hit the backside of a barn until the end of the game.
Why you got to remind me of that?
Because we're going to talk about, and I know you're going to get into it, moral victories. Mm-hmm. Well, the question today, I ask everyone, and the phone lines are open all day. Mm-hmm. They're open all day, 916-339-1140. The question is, was it a moral victory or missed opportunity? Mm-hmm. That's really the question. Because you got everything you wanted. The Warriors, I felt like they had about 50 turnovers. I mean, it looked like JV basketball at some points. One ball went through GP2's legs.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad.
It was terrible.
It was bad ball.
They were throwing the game.
They were selling.
Yeah, they were.
They were selling,
really
and the
were.
Kings refused to buy.
Yep.
But like you said, I don't want to be completely negative because I'm still trying to ingratiate myself here in Sactown. I'm here in Natomas now, the NATO, as apparently we call it. So let's hear from Mike Brown about the positives. And really the biggest thing to take away was that the team defense was pretty good.
We are. We played a little bit more physical tonight. I think we're getting better in that area. Offensively, obviously, we didn't shoot the ball well, but when you don't shoot the ball well, if you defend, you'll at least give yourself a chance. And I thought our guys tried to do that, which in turn gave us a chance down the stretch.
They had a chance.
They did. They definitely did. I mean, and that's all you we're going to get into it, but to me, like that's really all you can ask for, is to have a chance when you don't have your best player out there. Like De'Aaron is a guy who's averaging 35 points per game. You had to know that the Kings weren't going to be able to win this game how they've been trying to win every other game. They were going to have to try something a little different. They played at a slower pace. They definitely didn't do themselves a lot of favors with the amount of missed shots they had yesterday.
Yeah.
But they made up for it on the defensive end. I really thought if they didn't bring the level of attention to detail on the defensive end that they brought yesterday, that's a complete blowout. Like they don't stand a chance in a game against a really elite team or team that's had success. I don't want to put the Warriors in elite yet. Okay.
Right.
A team that's had some early success. You're not going to beat a team like that
They're
unless
elite against the Kings.
Hey man,
I'm just saying
2-0. I can't deny it. I don't have any comeback. I don't want to be
this person. This is what the Kings made me.
This is just the beginning.
Just think, Steph, enough. No, we had enough.
Yeah.
We had enough. Here's my question. So seriously now, Keegan Murray and the great job he did on Steph defensively.
Yeah.
When you see his struggles offensively, that's why with 10 points, right? There's a direct link. And that's why I don't think people appreciate the heyday of being a quote unquote elite two-way player and how tough it is, right? Whether that was Klay Thompson back in the day
for sure, or
Kawhi back in the day, you can make the argument it's really hard to be both for a long period of time.
It's almost impossible.
Klay got stopped because of injury, and Kawhi got stopped because of injury. So when you look at Keegan Murray, did he help on Steph? Sure. But maybe, and I hate to do it because there was no De'Aaron. So maybe if Keegan is able to play this type of defense on Steph and you have De'Aaron, yes, they obviously win that game. But the problem is De'Aaron wasn't out there. And it's an L. And it's not just an L, it's an L to the Warriors. I got some sound that Kings are not going to like. Kings fans are not going to like. The Beam regime is not going to like very much, but it has to be done. Malik Monk also alludes to it as well. We're going to get to it a little bit later, but I think it's a good point because he did play good defense, right? And you see 10 points from Keegan Murray. That's not going to cut it, but it was great defensively. Kevin Huerter, I already see on the YouTube chat somebody talking about Kevin Huerter. Is that an L Podicus? I don't know if that's an L or I. Huerter with 9 rebounds. Cool. Yeah. Cool. What do you want me to do with that?
I thought they were good rebounds. I mean, I really thought that Kevin, when you're not making shots, you got to find other ways to impact the game. And I actually thought he did have some big rebounds, like down the stretch. I don't doubt that. He got a really big rebound over Kevon.
But I don't doubt that. But we're talking about going to the next level.
Yeah.
You got to do both.
Yeah.
Like Drake says, combination.
Sure.
You got to have both. Kyle
The accent was crazy.
Combination.
That is.
Well, now I have to find the clip so they can compare that.
No.
You need both.
Yeah.
You need both. I get what you're saying, right? If you're not doing something here, you got that you're still making an impact on the game. I'm not saying he's not.
For sure.
I'm saying it clearly wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Right. And they sold out doing the scrappy things. So the question is, are you going to be able to win those gritty games when you do step up in other areas? But because you're stepping up in other areas, now you don't have the legs to make shots. Which is it?
I mean, my thing is like they played well enough to win the game. And this is like where my moral victory argument will begin. But like my thing is they played well enough to win the game. They just sometimes things don't go your way. And Klay Thompson hits a really tough contested shot from, from the top of the key. It's like a 20-footer, 17-footer. It's a tough shot, and he made it. Like, to me, the Kings played well enough to win the game. They were one shot away from winning. I just don't really feel like, I don't really think anyone played bad enough to lose them. Like, yes, Kevin Huerter didn't make his shots. Keegan Murray didn't make his shots. Sometimes that's just how it goes. Like, I don't think that this.
But it keeps going like that against the Warriors.
I mean, you don't have to play the Warriors. Like, they have played the Warriors a lot in this condensed stretch of games. But like, there's 20 8 other teams that they can play that aren't the Warriors, that don't present the very specific things and challenges that the Warriors present.
Yeah. 916-339-1140. Moral victory. Are you happy with what you saw, or did the Kings take a step back? Are you happy with what you saw, or did the Kings take a step back? No, and I hear what you're saying.
I took a step back.
Clay did take a step. You said it, not me. You said it, not me.
Over
Look,
Davion.
Over Davion. And Davion, by the way, we're going a little bit positive here.
Yeah.
Davion balled. Davion balled out.
He did his part. Everything that we wanted to see from him, like
Yes.
the points, he even facilitated a little bit. And then, on that last possession, he plays about as good as defense as Davion Mitchell can play. He's just 6 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
There's really nothing else.
No, and we know Clay, when he gets to the apex of that jump shot, there's not very many people besides a Kevin Durant or not many guys that can contest that shot. That's how it's been throughout Clay's career. So, there were good things to take away. When I just look at the big picture and I look at, yes, it's 1 of 82, but I just can't get over the fact that maybe it's because I'm connected to the Bay and I'm getting cooked on Twitter. Maybe that's part of it too, because I'm riding for y'all.
I know.
And you leaving me out.
I don't know, man. You're stuck in this in-between land where it sounds like Warrior fans don't want you. You keep up all this.
I told you,
we
already,
no moral victory talk.
Ordered. No, we already ordered the Baby Beam shirt for my daughter. It's on the way. I'm all in. But I'm putting my neck on the line.
Fight for my life
out here. So this, I do think to take a step.
Come on.
To take a step back.
On.
You said it first. I do think, looking at the totality of this game, yes, they did a lot of things. I think the confusing thing about this game in particular is that they did a lot of things that we've been asking them to do, right? Or
sure.
Mike Brown has been asking them to do, to rebound, to be physical, to play defense, but their calling card did not come up.
Yes,
that's
correct.
the issue. So the question is, are you able to do those things that Mike Brown is challenging you to do, and keep up? That is all based on keeping up the offensive part of it.
Yeah.
It does not matter how many rebounds Kevin Huerter had, and it does not matter the type of defense Keegan Murray played on Steph if they combine for 21 points when De'Aaron Fox isn't playing.
No, I've got nothing, no counter to that.
So can you do both? It's still early in the season.
For sure.
Can you do both?
Yeah.
That's ultimately the question.
Well, and especially, I think where you just drew my mind there is, in a night where they don't have De'Aaron Fox isn't known as a shooter, so they don't have De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
So they have mainly all of their shooters playing.
Right.
They shoot 31% from 3.
Yes.
You would think that on a night where you don't have De'Aaron Fox, you would want to rely a lot more on that 3-point shot falling. And the fact that, it doesn't help that Keegan Murray goes 0 of 7. And I don't know how many times Keegan Murray's ever going to go 0 of 7 again. Right. But yeah, that's a great point, that on a night where they don't have De'Aaron, they didn't do the thing that is their calling card. And that was the offensive end. And it doesn't seem like they found the balance of being able to play defense and play physically while still keeping up the offensive scoring load.
And the question is, right, and really not the question, I think the bottom line is, as we get to a break here, that game that they played yesterday, how many teams do they beat besides the Warriors? We know about the mental. And
it's almost the same series question as the series.
Exactly. We have this Malik Monk audio that kind of details how they feel right now about the Warriors. So the game they played last night, how many teams do they beat with that game? And I say a decent bit. They definitely beat the Rockets, who they have up next. They probably beat the Thunder, who they have coming down the road too. So all is not lost, but man, oh man, I still call it a missed opportunity. What say you, Sactown Sports listeners, when we get back? More of your texts, more of your calls. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Combination. Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, a breakaway. He's got it with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Model year end pricing is back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
During the model year end event, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make lower payments. It's no wonder why Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Come in today or check out our entire inventory online at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Does your dog leave frowny piles of poo around the yard? Did you know that a solid poo is one of the best indicators of your dog's gut health? Supreme Source Super Premium Dog Food is made with organic super seaweed and other powerful antioxidants, supporting a healthy digestive system. Real protein is always the first ingredient, plus a blend of essential vitamins and minerals to help support your dog's overall health and well-being. Do their digestion a solid, literally. Find Supreme Source Premium Dog Food at Safeway, Safe Mart, and Winco, or a local grocery store near you.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
We are back. Sactown Sports. Stiles and Watkins. Going back and forth here. Chris doesn't even want to speak to me today.
Nope.
He asked if he had to do the show with me. I said, I think you have to. Because the Kings didn't get it done.
Yeah.
Great game.
It's on you.
Entertaining game. I will say another 102-101 Golden State Warriors win. And you know what? To me, it's not, if we're being completely honest, it's not so much about the Klay Thompson shot because Sabonis did not call bank. Okay, the Golden One is not open that late. Yeah. The bank ain't open that late. So that shot had no business going in. I don't think they should have been in that situation because they were up as much as 11 in the beginning of the third or in the middle of the third. And then
their biggest lead was 11 points. Yep.
Yeah. So the wheels kind of came off. And we know in the NBA, especially these days,
no lead is
11 points is nothing. No. You can, especially against the Warriors, you can sneeze and be down 11 as quick as you were up 11. But we do have good news. I think this is good news. Have good news as we have a report from Shams saying that De'Aaron Fox could play as soon as Saturday. Let's hear what he had to say.
Yeah, it's a moderate ankle sprain. I mean, it's worse than a grade 1, but this is a guy, De'Aaron Fox, who played through a fractured finger in the playoffs last year. He's clearly got a high pain threshold. So he missed last night's game. He's really right now day-to-day, Michelle. And I'm told he could play as soon as Saturday in Houston or Monday in Houston. They have 2 straight games in Houston where De'Aaron Fox is from. And so he's a quick healer. This is an early part of the season. But look for De'Aaron Fox to potentially return within a week of this injury, which was worse than a grade 1. But last night, the Kings, you have to give them credit for how competitive they kept that game. Malik Monk having the ball in his hands throughout the game. I think obviously he's shown whether he starts, comes off the bench, he can play at a high level on the ball. But for them to keep it competitive without De'Aaron Fox, I think is a positive sign. But shout out Klay and his game winner.
All right. Kyle, you got to cut that early. You got to cut that early. I'm just
fade that down. Come on.
Just fade that down. Well, that's great news, right?
Yeah.
And De'Aaron, quick healer. He's a dog, just like Malik Monk likes to say. A lot of dogs on that team. We know what he went through during the playoff series last season, and he continued to play. So great news if you are a Kings fan saying that, hey, you might not even have to miss a game. And we had a feeling the fact that he was going on the road trip, the fact that he came back and played was insane. Against the Lakers. Insane. And you're getting your jersey retired. I don't know what day that's actually happening on.
I saw a flyer for it yesterday.
Yeah, either Saturday. Got to be. It could be earlier on Saturday, right, or something like that. So
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
on Saturday.
No, not the game when he's getting his jersey retired.
Oh, that's on Friday night.
So that's Friday night. Right. So you knew he would want to be a part of it. You knew he would want to be down there and show out for his hometown. So I don't know about Saturday. Again, if the Kings play like that, I don't think you need De'Aaron on Saturday. No disrespect to the Rockets and Dylan Brooks hopscotching around, but it would be good to have him on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to have De'Aaron back as soon as possible, as soon as he feels healthy. But to me, the big question is, does he actually feel healthy, or is he rushing back as soon as possible because he's playing in his hometown and because he feels like, much like was the attitude last year, these guys need to take advantage of every regular season game that they can. It makes me a little bit nervous to hear him come back that soon. Obviously, again, we would love to have De'Aaron Fox back with the team as soon as possible, but if it's going to be at the expense of him possibly re-aggravating the injury or not letting it heal all the way and having it linger, again, we're in the beginning stage. We just had our 4th game of the season. Okay, there is 78 more games left.
That's a lot.
do we really need to be rushing De'Aaron Fox back right now if he's not healthy? And, no one will know if he's truly 100% healthy or not, except for him.
Right.
But the fear is he's done this before. Like, he did this, I think, in his second season. He had a grade 3 ankle sprain, came back in 2 or 3 weeks for an injury that you're supposed to miss a month and a half minimum. It's just scary. Like, of course, welcome him back with open arms, but if it's at the expense of him possibly damaging that ankle further or even, just re-aggravating it throughout the year, I just feel like, you've got some easy matchups here. If you're ever going to drop games early in the season is the time to do it. So I'm kind of conflicted on hearing that news. It just feels way too early because, yes, he did play in that Laker game, which shows it might not be pain tolerance wise. He might be able to handle it, but with ankles, they just need rest. That's really it.
Yeah. And look, I think one thing to remember is, as you said, it is a long season. And I don't know how much of this is possibly because we had no report beforehand. And now Shams comes out today after the game winner. And I know the trainers are much smarter than we are. Yeah. But I also know that De'Aaron really wants to get out there and how much of this is, if they get that W last night, this is how it works in football and all sports. You're just buying time. So if they do get that W last night, are we getting a report that he's going to play as soon as Saturday? Because now that was the big one, right? Yep. And again, no disrespect to the Rockets. They're all paid professionals. But that was the big one. If you get that W last night, now it's, hey, De'Aaron, let's rest you here because
we got some cushion.
And now the cushion is gone because you didn't get it done, even though it was a great game. And now all of a sudden De'Aaron feels like, well, we can't drop it. We can't drop one to the Rockets, and we can't do this. We can't do that. And, that's really going to be a dicey subject because to be completely honest with you, if Kevin Huerter and Keegan Murray are going to continue to combine for 21 points, which I hope they don't, they will not win both games against the Rockets if De'Aaron doesn't play. No. I'm telling you that right now. They won't win both.
They can, but the odds go down incredibly.
You're saying there won't be another 27-point half from Harrison Barnes?
Yeah.
I'm saying that it won't happen twice.
Yeah.
I'm saying it won't happen twice. So I understand why De'Aaron wants to get back, but to your point, it's a long season, and you are one of the younger teams. And being younger means, just as Sham said, you heal very quickly.
Sure.
Right? So why don't just make sure you're good, okay? And don't rob Peter just to pay Paul early on in the season because all these other teams like the Lakers, the Clippers, the Suns, the Warriors already have injury issues, already resting guys. You're going to be better. You're going to be in a better spot than them. I would say middle of the season through that dull time and the end of the season. All those teams, all those older teams, they're trying to come out hot. The middle of the season, they're just trying to survive, right? And that is where the Kings are going to thrive. But you can't thrive if De'Aaron Fox is dealing with an issue that isn't fully healed. Right. So I would say, De'Aaron, I don't think you necessarily need to rush yourself back. Even if you drop a couple of these games early, I think it would be worth it. We talk about the same thing with Brock Purdy and the Niners. There's only 17 games in that season.
There's a lot more urgency.
That's a lot different than having 82. So if you're De'Aaron Fox in this team, I know you get a bit of a break because they played Wednesday, and now they're good until Saturday.
Monday.
So I understand, hey, we got enough time, but it's the Rockets. At worst, just give it a couple more days and just play on that Monday. You still get to play in Houston.
Right. Exactly. That's how I feel. I don't know what the rush would be. And it would be terrible if this derails the season just because they wanted to get him in a little bit quicker than necessary. And so, I mean, if anything, this just tells me what it actually tells me is that De'Aaron Fox really cares about this in-season tournament because that's coming up. That's coming up next week too. So people were wondering, are these rule changes and will people care about this in-season tournament? Clearly, De'Aaron Fox.
I don't think that's why.
I'm pretty sure.
But I also can't prove it.
I'm pretty sure that's why.
I also can't prove it.
Sure, having your jersey retired is one thing, but in-season tournament fame is forever.
Do you get a ring for that? Do you have to?
Oh, I guarantee they get something.
Well, they got
it's
rings
be
for
like
the
a
Summer
bracelet
League
or something.
Didn't they get rings for Summer League?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
So they're definitely going to get rings for this. 100%. So, like we said, if Chris Paul gets a mid-season tournament ring, we're still going to say he's ringless?
I won't, I respect rings.
Russell Westbrook. What if the Clippers win it?
All right, then no, that don't count. That don't count.
Now you've gone too far.
All right, I'm just
Don't be
saying. Well, they
ridiculous.
won't because that would require all of them to play,
Exactly.
which is not going to happen.
There's a 0% chance.
All right, get into a break. When we get back, Malik Monk sound. Sacramento fans, it is what it is with this Golden State Warriors thing. I got some sound too. Please don't hate me, but it's just how we feel right now. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
For 35 years, TruckSmart has been your local leader in truck accessories. Find racks, toolboxes, and lighting for your work truck, and trailer hitches, side steps, and bed covers for recreation. They have shells for work or play and offer Rhino lining, the best bed protection in the business. You like overlanding? TruckSmart has rooftop tents, recovery gear, and heavy-duty bumpers. Trust your ride to their skilled installers and expert sales staff at the Rockland and Auburn locations. TruckSmart. Your truck's gonna love them. TruckSmart.com.
Have you ever heard that phrase, less is more? Well, at Harbor Freight, we're all about more for less because we know you like to do stuff, to make stuff, to improve stuff. That's why everything in our stores, from miter saws to tool chests to cordless impact wrenches, is priced affordably. So get out there and drill, paint, and saw to your heart's content. We just ask that whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Red Hawk Resort Casino is an entertainment experience like no other. We're the only place where you can play blackjack, then hop on an indoor kart track. We're the only place with more than 2,000 of the hottest slots and a state-of-the-art 18-lane bowling center. And now with a world-class sports bar and a resort hotel to stay after you play. Is it any wonder we've been voted best over 100 times? We're Red Hawk Resort Casino, official casino partner of the Sacramento Kings.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter. These are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Golden State Warriors got the Kings again.
On a double-team blitz, finds Draymond Green, pivots, throws to Thompson. Thompson rocks, fires, 18-footer, score the basket! On a double-team.
The Sacramento Kings held the Golden State Warriors to a season-low 18 points in the third quarter, while Davion Mitchell also broke out with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals, starting for the injured De'Aaron Fox. However, the Kings lost by 1 point. They're now 2-2. Next game is Saturday against the Houston Rockets. In baseball, the Texas Rangers are World Series champions after winning Game 5 versus Arizona. Corey Seager won his second World Series MVP with his second team, winning in 2020 with the Dodgers and now in 2023 with the Rangers. Those are your headlines. Let's return to more of Stiles and Watkins.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
We are back, Sactown Sports. A couple people are asking, as we break down Kings Warriors, a couple people are asking in the chat and on the text line as well, who won between me and Chris. We went golfing yesterday. My second golf stint post Achilles. People are asking who won, and we're not messing around here. No. We did actually tie.
We did tie. I think we
I had a putt.
I think we had 47.
I had a putt on the par 5 at Hagen's to win it.
Yep.
Par 5, it was to par.
It was
to
a
win
downhill, though.
It was downhill. I had a putt to win it, and it was just a little bit left.
Yeah.
It was just a little bit left. So we
Greens
tied.
were playing fast.
No, they were cooking.
playing like carpet.
Yes, they were definitely cooking. So, it was a close match. I'm sure we'll have more.
Oh, yeah.
Because, and I couldn't beat Chris, first time golfing in Sacramento. I couldn't beat him on his home turf.
Well, you quite literally have a handicap. So, I couldn't just go out there
right.
and watch you
Alan
and be
with
like,
one leg.
Okay, sorry, man. No prisoners.
Hey,
so.
Fair enough.
I think we were both taking it easy on
Yeah. We'll get back out there. We'll get it done. Unfortunately, the Kings did not get it done last night, losing to the Warriors 102-101. And you said yourself, Chris, how about a game where it's not 120 points on both sides?
Yeah,
and you got it.
Great.
You got it. Just unfortunately, the Kings weren't able to eclipse 105, right? Or in this specific situation, 102, right? So you did see a lot of things. And again, later on in the show, we will revisit the keys that we had for Kings Warriors, what they accomplished, what they did not. 11-14, we have our guy, Brendan Nunez, Sactown Sports, talking Warriors. He was in the Bay yesterday. 12-14, beaming or dreaming. 12-45, Kevin Dana, who is the play-by-play guy for the G League, the Santa Cruz Warriors, and also does a Warriors roundtable. Very knowledgeable guy, so we'll get his thoughts on what Draymond had to say about last year's chemistry, and we'll try to not get Kevin in trouble.
Yeah.
And I might be in trouble with what I'm about to do next because I'm just saying this is what it sounded like to me. So Malik Monk has some audio, very quick audio here, where he talks about the Warriors and not the head games, but just the fact that right now they're the ones to beat.
We relaxed, they hit us in the mouth. So they got our numbers right now.
They got our numbers right now. And that just seems like a nice way of saying something else we've heard.
I mean, what can I say? Just tip my hat and call the Yankees my daddies.
Sorry. That's what it sounds like.
You really think you're funny?
I said I'm sorry.
We relaxed, they hit us in the mouth. So they got our numbers right now.
They got our numbers right now. The Warriors are the Kings' daddy right now.
I mean, what can I say? Just tip my hat and call the Yankees my daddies.
That's not what I heard.
That is what I heard. In a respectful way. I don't know why Pedro ever said that. Now they have a segment as we get into the World Series a little bit later in the show. They have a segment on TBS or whatever it is. Who was Pedro's daddy today? What a wild segment.
I don't want that to be my segment. I definitely don't want to say, who owns me?
I mean, what can I say? Just tip my hat and call the Yankees my daddies.
I mean, Steph Curry already owns Golden One Center.
Okay,
so.
Wow.
I don't know what is going on.
And
right
Kyle's
now.
from out here.
Why am I the one who has to be positive right now?
Well, that's because you are. You are. Look, things can change, and that's why Malik Monk, and I'm just poking fun. Malik Monk specifically.
This is not fun.
Okay,
this is
not fun to you.
We relaxed, they hit us in the mouth. So they got our numbers right now.
Right now.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm done. I just had to get that because it's not funny to me.
He wants them to feel good about themselves. He wants them to overlook the Kings. That's why he's like, hey, man, hey, what can I say, man? Y'all clearly are just better than us. I don't even know what to say.
Well, you think it's some reverse psychology going on?
I don't think that he's saying it in a defeated manner. That's what I would say. I don't think he's saying it like, yeah, man, like we just got to figure these. Like, I don't think he's stressing about the Warriors. I really think it's more just like facts are facts. Like they just every time we play them, they seem to pull it out at the end of the game.
Made it sound like it was a throwaway line.
Yeah,
it was just something he said.
Yeah. Okay. Look, I think the most important part of what he said was right now.
Yes.
Right. Because things can change so quickly. And like you said, it's kind of messed up right now because the Kings of War have just played way too much.
Right.
They just need a break. I mean, it's basically just a scrimmage at this point, and they just need a break from each other. And I think they're going to get it. They don't play for what, a month or so now?
I think for 26 more days.
Okay. So you take it. It is what it is. But I'll tell you this. I would rather, if I'm the Kings, I'd rather face, I'm going to sound crazy here.
You already do.
I'd rather face the Nuggets in the first round than the Warriors.
I mean, probably from just the sense of like, I'm sick and tired of seeing these guys and they know everything we do in the same way that we know everything they do, but they just have the experience edge. I hear what you're saying for sure. I don't think it's no, I don't think that's crazy. Actually.
Okay.
I don't think that's crazy. Obviously, from a talent perspective, Denver's a lot scarier. But when you've played a team as many times as these two teams have played each other, there's just no surprising them. Like, I think yesterday was we talked about how yesterday was going to be kind of a gimmick game. And to an extent, it kind of was. Like, they were throwing a lot of zone out there.
Right.
They forced the ball out of Steph's hands. That's kind of the last card. That's the last hand that the Kings have to deal. I don't know how much more they can do that the Warriors haven't seen. So in that sense, I definitely think that if you were to ask the Kings especially, they would say, we're sick and tired of seeing these guys, and we would literally rather see anybody else.
Yeah, and it's really confusing because, what was it? What was the old, not fairy tale, but story when it's like the porridge with the bears?
Oh, yes.
The three little bears or whatever it was.
Would that be considered a fairy tale? I think
not a fairy tale.
You mean
but
Goldilocks?
Yeah,
Goldilocks
with the porridge was too hot and too cold.
I think that's considered a fairy tale.
There's another term for it. A folk story, whatever it is.
How about
it's a tale, right? So one porridge was too hot, the other porridge was too cold.
Yeah.
And then you're looking for the porridge to be just right.
Right.
The Kings against the Warriors on Friday, that porridge was too cold. And not actually cold, but just in the sense of they didn't do certain things, but De'Aaron balled out. Right. The porridge last night was too hot. Again, not actually hot because they weren't hot from three-ball land.
Field, right.
But you did other things that you really liked.
Yeah.
So if you do put that porridge together and you put it all in a pot and you have the Kings doing what they did last night, and you just throw in, oh, by the way, they're all NBA player and a top point guard in this league, they win that ball game.
Yeah.
But how many times, again, are you going to hold Steph under 21? That's the issue.
Yeah. And the question is also, we won't know until the next time we see them, but did the Kings maybe figure something out with Steph?
Yeah.
Like, did it take the 10th matchup against these guys to figure out, hey, let's throw some size on him. Let's throw Kevin Huerter or Keegan Murray on there. That seems, clearly having a guy of his stature, of Davion Mitchell's stature, and his defensive prowess didn't bother Steph.
No.
So maybe something, just size and length will bother him, and maybe they learned something. So maybe you can still get that defensive effort against Steph Curry with Kevin Huerter or Keegan Murray and get the De'Aaron Fox scoring without having De'Aaron have to spend any time guarding Steph. Yeah, that I think the porridge example is a wonderful one. That could really be that happy middle ground of what you're looking for, where maybe some other people who in the past you might have looked for Keegan Murray more for an offensive scoring load, or Kevin Huerter more for the offensive scoring load. Maybe just for that night against this team, you kind of sacrifice that end of the floor for getting real production on the defensive end and stopping Steph and getting the firepower of De'Aaron having a possible 30-point night against them.
Right. And to that point, and it was interesting because we did see a lot. It felt like we saw a lot of Keegan on Steph. Whitey Gleason, Drive Guys, during our crosstalk yesterday said that analytically Kevin Huerter did the best job on Steph Curry on the team. Now, because Steph, I guess, still balled out, they wanted to try something else, and they tried out Keegan. I think if I'm Mike Brown, I just sell out on one of those guys and not switch, because they're both – Steph plays so many mind games and you're so worried about it. Yeah. It's hard to focus on offense. I would say it's either Kevin Huerter or Keegan. Hey, you're the Steph guy today when we're not doing zone or whatever the case is. And whoever is not on it, it's your job. We need something from you offensively. And obviously, Sabonis, who did a great job last night, in my opinion, of just being that guy. And obviously, when you get De'Aaron Fox back, we rock and roll with you guys. I think, and again, that is why things are specific. And that is very much a playoff situation, right? Absolutely. We are doing something specific
it's
to
a chess game.
This team. Yes, it's not just roll the ball out there during the regular season and everything is honky-dory. We are specifically trying to beat this team in a certain way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's transferable. I mean, yes, again, the problems that the Warriors present are very Warrior specific, but I think it's good for them to get into this mindset of treating certain matchups like a playoff, like thinking more deep, I guess, is thinking not just, like you're saying, not just rolling the ball out for that regular season game, but trying to think realistically, okay, when we do play these teams in a 7-game series, how are we going to adjust? What lineups or what different combinations can we throw out there? that maybe other teams haven't seen from us that can give us a unique look. So I definitely think that it was a really good performance yesterday on the defensive end. I was really happy with it.
I have nothing negative to say about that team defensively. The question is, can you do that and still have enough legs to produce offensively?
Exactly.
And unfortunately, last night they did not. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we will hear from Coach Mike Brown and the defense they played on, Steph. And we will also answer the question. Chris has a question for the audience.
Yes.
Normalizing moral victories.
Yes.
I think you all know what I will have to say about that. But stick around to find out. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey guys, do you know what makes Revive Men's Health Sacramento different? You. Every Revive treatment and medication is personalized just for you. Revive has the experts that guys go to when their current treatment isn't working. They have a complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple, to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a low-ball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your free T-check and exam and save $199 today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit us at revivemenshealth.com.
What's for dinner? Burgers?
After last week, no thanks.
Avoiding foods due to fear of diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools? It may not be just stomach issues. It could be EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. EPI can cause uncomfortable symptoms because it's a condition where the pancreas doesn't release enough digestive enzymes to break down food. But EPI can be managed. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor about your symptoms. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. Not much went right for the red and gold in Week 8, losing their third straight game of the season, 31-17. Cincinnati quarterback Joe Burrow was cooking early, throwing for 283 yards and 3 touchdowns. Running back Joe Mixon also got involved, going for 87 yards on the ground. His lone touchdown put the exclamation point on the visitors' victory, walking in from 5 yards out late in the fourth quarter. The 49ers entered their bye week at 5-3, dropping to second in the NFC West.
With over 100 years as a family-owned company, EB Stone's learned a few things about making plants grow. Start a healthy family hobby with indoor planting with EB Stone's Edna's Best indoor and outdoor potting soil to help your little plants grow into the perfect indoor plant for the kids and family to enjoy. EB Stone's indoor and outdoor potting soil is perfectly blended with all the important ingredients you need to create that perfect indoor and outdoor plant or garden. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. Visit ebstone.org for more gardening tips, products, and locations near you.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
We're back. Sactown Sports, reacting to Kings Warriors. Heck of a game. And let me just say, Stiles and Watkins, let me just say, the NBA did mess up. And I thought they did too. It should have been Kings Warriors for Christmas. It's must-see television.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, that's looking like a big mess up because every time these two teams play, it just seems like it's going to go down to the last minute. And,
right.
Who knows what's going to happen? Who are the Warriors playing on Christmas?
I believe they play the Nuggets.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, who... I mean, I'm sure it'll be a good game.
Sure, like, you know.
Warriors might get smacked. Yeah.
That's a really real possibility.
They might give smacked.
They got no answer for Jokic.
Zero. And I have no answer for what you are about to get into.
Yeah.
Because the question came up, and I even
you entertained
tweeted last night, hey, bit of a moral victory between Keegan and Herter. You got to believe they won't continue to be this cold in the defense they played. No De'Aaron Fox, and they took the Warriors.
Yeah.
And you could say, well, the Warriors were cold, or you could say, no, the Kings played really good defense.
Yeah.
So the floor is yours, my friend.
Okay. I'm going to start this off with something that happened this weekend with Francis Ngannou fight against Tyson Fury. It was this major fight. Everyone, you know, the heavyweight boxing fighting. Everyone loves heavyweight boxing. Francis Ngannou pretty much, for the most part, I'll spare everyone the details who doesn't care or didn't watch, but for the most part, the court of public opinion says that Francis Ngannou, who's a UFC fighter, former UFC heavyweight title winner, he beat Tyson Fury in a boxing match, which Tyson Fury is the heavyweight title holder of boxing. And, you know, for this week, it's been a big discourse in the fighting community about, you know, does it really matter that on the scorecards it says that Tyson Fury won, but Francis Ngannou lost, when everybody who watched the fight, all boxing purists, casuals, everybody says this guy won. So does it really matter at the end of the day if the judge's scorecard says that the other guy won, because everybody else is of the opinion that this happened? And that just got me started on the moral victory thought process. And then after last night, I really feel like it's almost like a toxic thing in sports in general, just this downplaying of moral victories. Of course, at the end of the day, I understand that records and standings are definitely a thing that impacts a lot, especially when it comes to playoffs. But moral victories are just completely shoved down and said you're not allowed to have them. And I just think on a night like last night, that's not the right approach mentally to have to that game after the game. Like, I think the Kings, again, put themselves in a situation to win that game when they were down their best player. And if Klay Thompson doesn't hit a crazy step back jumper, they win that game, and we're not here sad at all. We're talking about, wow, what a persevering win that was over, you know, just terrible circumstances. They win without their best player against a team that, you know, beat them on their home floor, all this stuff. And we have a completely different tone today because Klay Thompson hit one jump shot that was a tough shot, like that Davion Mitchell pretty much has to live with. Like, you have to live with giving Klay that look. I just don't understand why we have to, or why we can't have that as a moral victory. It's not even necessarily that we have to downgrade it, but just why can't we feel positively or feel good about that game last night? I don't know why it has to be, of course we lost. At the end of the day, we ended up losing to the Warriors, and it's just another L in this Kings Warriors series.
I want to ride with you.
I know. Because it makes sense. It's
because
logical.
Chris is right.
You're right in terms of there are things you can take away, right? I guess it depends on your definition of a moral victory, right?
I think it's just not feeling down. That is how I would describe it. It's like moral victory is you shouldn't kill yourself about, Keegan Murray shouldn't be upset. He goes 0 of 7 tonight or last night. It's all. They did what they could to put themselves in a situation to win. Whatever the stats say kind of doesn't matter because they had to do what they had to do in order to put themselves in that situation. It was going to be a different game script last night than what it was going to be if De'Aaron Fox was playing. So they put themselves in the situation to win. I don't think just because at the end of the day a last-second shot changes the result that they should feel differently, or we as fans should feel differently about how they played in that game. I feel like we should still come out of that game feeling positive about the fact that the Kings just took a team that has been a nightmare for them and was able to compete with them for 47 minutes and 30 seconds at an incredibly high level in a defensive matchup. I think that's a massive, massive victory. And I don't know, just because Klay Thompson hits a shot at the end of the game, I don't think I should feel like the Kings didn't perform well.
No, I don't think it's a matter of not performing well. I think the flip side of it would be feeling as if, and I don't even know if moral victory is part of this, but just feeling as if when we go down the checklist later in the show, when they hit on most things in the checklist and you still lost.
Yeah.
That's the issue, not the issue, but that's my feeling. It's we did everything we were supposed to do.
Sure.
And still lost. Now, you didn't have De'Aaron Fox, and I think that's where the moral victory comes into play.
Exactly.
So I hear you on that, and I would also say
if De'Aaron plays yesterday,
they win.
But that's also like if De'Aaron plays and that's the result they get, then we can be upset.
Okay.
Because they played poorly and there was no excuse. They had their best player.
Right.
They only score 101 points. That's not how you're supposed to look when you're at full strength.
Right. No,
the Kings did also shoot 40% from the field yesterday.
Yes.
Like even without De'Aaron Fox, it was not a great shooting game.
No, not a great shooting game. They did what they had to, and defensively, they did what they had to. So the Warriors didn't have a good shooting game either.
No.
Right?
They also turned the ball over like crazy.
They turned the ball over at a ridiculous clip. I think that if somebody were to say this is where the game honestly got flipped, you did what you were supposed to do, but at the end of the day, when you have Dario Saric, I mean, what did he shoot from three-ball land? Did he miss from three?
I think he was 3 of 5.
3 of 5, or he had 15 points. That is not what you had on your bingo card.
It was not.
But that was essentially the difference in the game.
No, it was.
Because you get Dario Saric. Honestly, that makes up for Steph and Klay
Yes, it does.
not being that hot.
Totally.
So you have that going on. Kuminga is coming into his own. You know that's my dark horse for most improved player. So you get that, and Chris Paul 2 points, 8 assists.
Yeah.
What is he shooting from three-ball land?
5%.
Is
like
that
5? Like 5%.
Is that bad?
Yeah, I think I could literally go out there. We have a busted rim out there in the garage. Like I think the net is like literally facing the floor. I think I could shoot 5% on that busted rim out there if I were to take 100 shots.
So I understand what you're saying. There's been a lot of talk, about the moral victories and whether you should feel like it, whether you should not. We've seen in the YouTube chat, we've seen on the text line as well, people going back and forth. And again, if you have thoughts, was it a moral victory? 916-339-1140. And the other question is another way to form this question. And you make outstanding points, by the way.
Thank you.
And I thought, I was going to have something ready for you, but you did that too well. You actually did that too well. And I will give credit where credit is due. The other way to ask this question is, did you feel, besides the heartbreak of the actual buzzer beater, right? About 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour after the game, did you feel bad about that loss, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know how many people felt bad about the loss or how many people, like you said, man, they had Steph, they had Klay, they had Draymond, they had the whole crew in Chase, in San Francisco, in the Bay, and we came out there and our two best shooters couldn't hit the backside of a barn, and we were in a position to win if not for Klay Thompson finally deciding to find the bottom of the net, which he hadn't really done all game long.
Yeah, I mean it's. I felt great after an hour after I did the post game show, which you can check out after every single Kings game on Sactown Sports YouTube channel. How's
outstanding
that for a
plug?
After that stream, I felt so content. Like I was hoping to see the beam out there when I stepped outside, but I couldn't help but feel like that's one of those games where you could realistically say, if we have De'Aaron Fox, we're winning that game.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you can also say, by the way, something I didn't realize until I was in the middle of that stream. Domantas Sabonis yesterday from the free throw line killed us. I mean, that killed us. The 7 of 12, missing 5 free throws in a game where you lose by 1 point. And I looked at the stat sheet. He was the only person who missed free throws yesterday. Everybody else made all of their free throws. Not that they took anywhere near 12, but if he makes 3 of those free throws, that's game. And it's easy to nitpick like that, but sometimes when it's free throws, it's just really easy to look at that number and say, You miss this many, we lose by this many. You bridge that gap, and it's a completely different game.
Right. And, the whole actual hacka whoever has really kind of gone away. I think most people don't love it, but it's just unintentional. I'm just going to make sure you get to the line, right? I'm not going to.
It's the Ben Simmons thing. It's like, if you're driving the lane, I'd much rather force you to go to the line and hit the two than have you lay it in.
So Domas has to work on that, because those are the things come playoff time that really is going to matter if you really want to compete and contend for a championship. Got to get to a break. Coming up next, we're talking next steps for the Kings, and we will have that sound from Mike Brown on the defense that we've been talking about all show long. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season? Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995? Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
It's the model year-end sales event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
Folding bed cover from TruckSmart makes road trips a breeze.
Right? I'm so much more organized on the job site since TruckSmart installed my truck rack and toolbox.
And they had it all in stock, so I just waited as they installed everything.
Take a look at this sweet Rhino truck lining. They sprayed it on.
Yeah, you win. That is sweet.
TruckSmart, truck and SUV accessories for on the road and the job site. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Rockland or Auburn. TruckSmart.com. Your truck's gonna love them.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Nothing slows my little girl down, except a stuffy nose. Mommy. That's why I use Sinex Children's Saline from Vicks. Sinex instantly clears mucus in everyday stuffy little noses with a gentle, ultra-fine mist designed for kids. Just Sinex? Breathe. Her stuffy nose is gone for now. And so is she.
Sinex Children's Saline. Sinex, breathe. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
At SimpliSafe, we've designed award-winning home security with advanced sensors, HD cameras, and now this, 24/7 LifeGuard protection, only from SimpliSafe. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplisafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's trypie.com.
Cooler temperatures mean it's time to reduce your outdoor water use. Water 1 day per week on Saturday or Sunday from November 1st through February 29th. Learn more about your home's watering schedule at sacwaterwise.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter. These are your Sactown Sports headlines. Well, you guys, the Golden State Warriors got us again.
On a double-team blitz, finds Draymond Green, pivots, throws to Thompson. Thompson rocks, fires, 18-footer, scores a basket, 0.2 of a second to go. It's not Curry, it's the other splash brother. It's Klay Thompson.
The Sacramento Kings did hold the Golden State Warriors to a season-low 18 points in the third quarter, while Davion Mitchell broke out with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals, starting for the injured De'Aaron Fox. The Texas Rangers are World Series champions after winning Game 5 last night in Arizona. Corey Seager won his second World Series MVP with his second team, winning it in 2020 with the Dodgers, and now in 2023 with the Rangers. Those are your headlines. Reminder, all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Now let's return for hour 2 of Stiles and Watkins.
What's up, Sacramento?
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
We are back, Sactown Sports. Stiles and Watkins taking you up to 2 p.m. Hang on, 11:15. We have Brendan Nunez, our guy covering the Kings for Sactown Sports. He will be with us at 11:15 to talk about the game. He was in the Bay, having hopefully a decent time. I wonder what time he got back.
I was just thinking that.
I traffic,
like,
we got the hardest workers in sports here.
Yeah,
the hardest workers.
For the playoff games, some of you guys were coming back at like 1 a.m.
Yes,
and then, like, for Jason's sake, he was on the morning show.
That's
like,
true.
It was. Some of y'all were crazy for that.
That's true.
It's insane.
That's true. You got to stay true to it. Text line, as we talk about the Kings defense, and they stayed true to that last night. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough, being bested by a Klay Thompson midi, 102-101, but a great effort by the Kings defensively. Text line from the 209. That's the reason why Kevin Huerter couldn't shoot during the series versus the Warriors. He was too tired to shoot from chasing Steph around.
Kevin wasn't really guarding Steph that much in the playoff series. It was more Davion. And I mean, he definitely guarded him for a decent bit, but not, it was mainly Davion and then Terrence Davis famously in game 6 and 7. So, I'd love to have a good excuse for why Kevin struggled during that playoff series, but I don't think guarding Steph was one of them.
Yeah. Well, and going into this season, I guess they've only played, right? They've only played a couple teams, but we're still waiting for Kevin Huerter to kind of get going.
He's got to have that breakout.
It felt like Keegan was more on Steph last night.
Yeah, there was some Huerter on Steph yesterday, but it was probably like a 65.
And Huerter hit a couple. I mean, when we started out that homestand, what was that against the Warriors with the donut?
Yeah,
that's when I think everybody was on high
alert.
So he definitely is making his way.
He's making shots, which is
it's just a matter of will he able to get to that level where other teams are having to game plan for him. From the 916, they're down with your moral victory talk, Chris. Okay. They say moral victory, 2 exclamation points. They also say porridge was warm. Talking about our folk tale about the porridge being warm. The porridge wasn't warm. The porridge, we want it to be warm.
Yes.
The next time the Kings, play in general and play against the Warriors when you hopefully have De'Aaron Fox back, who, by the way, if you didn't hear, Shams Charania reported this morning De'Aaron Fox could be back as soon as Saturday. Chris and I discuss whether that's a good thing or bad thing. We know De'Aaron Fox is a dog and wants to be with his squad, and I'm sure it was tough. He was right there in a crispy crew, just like Chris had on, right? Looking good, hoping that the Warriors would not get that W, and then they get it on that last-second shot. We wonder how much that has to do with De'Aaron Fox wanting to come back when it is a very, very long season. As we continue to talk about the defense for the Kings, here's some sound from Mike Brown on how they played Steph.
You're not stopping Steph Curry, but the reality of it is this is the best job I think we've ever done on Steph. And he was probably off or tired, I don't know, but you got to give Keegan some credit for trying to step up and making Steph work for whatever he got, and You just keep it moving till the next day. But I'm proud of the effort that Keegan tried to give on that end of the floor and the results from it, and just see if he can continue doing it.
Last one.
I like that. That, right? That goes into the category of Mike Brown seeing and I feel like he feels the same way as we do in terms of, hey, if you're only going to focus on defense like we've asked you to do, that's great. Now we know that you can get there defensively. Right. The question is, how much are you going to lose offensively? Because we still need you. I mean, Keegan is their third best option when it comes to scoring. And as much as, we've gone back and forth with Harrison Barnes, and Harrison Barnes a decent day, decent evening last night as well with 14 points. And he had a little stretch there when it was like, okay, Harrison, we know that feels good for you. That's probably not going to be enough.
No. I mean, I think, excuse me. I think that if they are going to focus that much on the defensive end, I mean, they frankly, they still need some sort of scoring power. Like you said earlier, like the calling card of this team is still the offensive end. And that's the thing that if that's not going, I don't know if the Kings are going to be able to win any night. And that's why yesterday was so surprising that they were even able to stay in that game without being able to knock down their shots. So I definitely think that if playing that level of defense leads to this level of shooting,
right,
I think they might need to, I wouldn't say dial back the defense a little bit, but just try and figure out more so how to keep their guys fresh better, because Keegan Murray plays 39 minutes yesterday guarding Steph Curry and still trying to hold that offensive load that he's been holding for a majority of this season. That's just a really tough ask for a guy who's still, let's not forget, Keegan is only in his second year here. Like he's kind of being thrown into the fire a little bit, especially in yesterday's game. That's a really, really tough ask, but I think it's good that he was at least able to, instead of being bad on offense and just trying to survive on defense, he was bad on offense and he didn't let that affect his defense either, especially for a young guy in his career. That can just murder your confidence. I mean, again, Keegan airballed a three and had a couple that were just way off the side of the rim.
Yes, when a couple that were straight on threes, and like you said,
time.
The good shooters are either short or long, but they're online. They weren't even online, so you knew something was off. And it's not that something was off. I think it was just his defense
legs
was on.
Were tired. Exactly.
His legs were just tired. Kevin Huerter, 1 for 5 from 3-ball land. You get a great day from Davion Mitchell, 3 for 7. Get a great day from Harrison Barnes, 4 for 7 from 3-ball land. So, you give and take with this stuff. But, and again, Vezenkov, who is a guy, I think the thing is, and again, the line was 7.5, right? So Vegas did not think that the Kings were going to really make it close, fairly competitive, right? But we knew and we believed that we thought the Kings would have something ready to go, but we also knew that so many things would have to go right.
Yeah.
A lot of those things, when you talk about that checklist, a lot of those things they did, our checklist was mostly about things that they haven't been doing.
Yeah.
The problem is the things that they had been doing are the things that we thought would eventually
remain.
Start or would remain, did not happen. Yeah. With all that being said, they still led the game until that last second shot by Klay Thompson. Vezenkov, I think we expected a little bit more from him. I think that was, we did bold predictions. I don't know if that was on anybody's radar, but I think we expected him to at least make 1 3.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, this is the thing that you can't have happen when it comes to Kevin Huerter, right? And I love, 9 rebounds, that's great. I'm sorry, man. I don't care. And I want to know if Mike Brown said anything to Kevin Huerter. I know he's been struggling, but we heard the story about Keegan Murray when he almost took him out. The problem is you're running out of body, so Kevin Huerter could not be taken out, because the story, for those of you who don't know, against the Lakers, when Keegan Murray was about to get pulled for Vezenkov because he passed up a 3, and then later on in the game, or that same situation, Keegan took the shot and Mike Brown sent Vezenkov to the bench. I'm telling you, I don't care if Davion is 3 for 6 and Kevin Huerter, you were 1 for 5. With De'Aaron Fox out, Kevin Huerter, I cannot have you passing the ball to Davion Mitchell, passing up an open shot for Davion to chuck it.
Sure.
That can't happen.
So I was going to ask you about this too, because Keegan Murray was 0 of 7 from 3. all of those 3-point attempts came in the first half. He did not take a single 3-point attempt in that second half. I know that because I might or might not have had a prize picks on Keegan Murray to take over 9. And in the first half, I was like,
that's a wrap.
We want to talk about checklist. I was like, all right, cool. That one's good.
Yes.
Keegan didn't take a single 3 in that second half. And
wow.
While, of course, I was rooting for him to take 3s for a different reason, I felt like that was a sign of defeat for him. And I didn't like to see that. And I know you're 0 of 7. It makes total sense to not take any more 3s because clearly, again, you said normally shooters, they're when shooters are locked in, they're either missing short and they're missing long.
Yeah.
Keegan was left, right, all over the place. So he clearly wasn't locked in. But on a night where De'Aaron's not playing, I think you kind of have to just power through that. And it's not like Keegan completely shut down. He still took 2s. He was taking fadeaways. He was taking Dirk turnaround jumpers over Steph.
He was taking runners,
just everything. So it's not like he lost the sense of aggressiveness, but it didn't feel like it felt like he gave up on the 3-point shot. And that's still a big weapon for Keegan. And in the second half, it's like, especially when you're a shooter at Keegan's caliber, it feels like you knock down 1, maybe get to the free throw line another time. You just see the ball go through the net. I would have just liked to see him try and find the rhythm because, again, in a night like last night, the Kings just need 1 or 2 more Keegan Murray 3s and the game goes a different way. So, of course, I still like the fact that Keegan kept the aggressiveness. He was still taking shots, not 3s. He was still defending on the other end, but I felt like he gave up on his 3-point attempts a little bit too early in that one.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And that goes to the question of, should you have drawn something up for him, make sure he gets back in the mix? Because one, and we've heard the sound from Mike Brown, and again, it's 1 of 82, but I don't think Mike Brown is we're not doing blame pie here, but this is just how the game went. Honestly, the Kings aren't as young as the Thunder or one of those teams, but they are a younger team. And the team AARP there in the Bay with the Warriors, they are the opposite of young in their season, and they know how to handle things down the stretch. Because towards the end, when that foul, the Sabonis foul that wasn't a foul that a lot of people think was a foul, when the Kings got the ball back and Mike Brown calls a timeout, what in the world was that play call?
I have no idea.
It was to Harrison in the middle of the floor.
I love Jay Triano, but I don't think that was – I think the play call was to just give it to Sabonis and have him go to work with 2 seconds. Because it seemed like I think Herter lobbed the ball to HB, who was like at the top of the key.
Right.
And HB like pretty much grabbed it and looked like he was going to immediately dump it down to Sabonis. So that leads me to believe the play was initially for Domas to get the ball there, and then HB just kind of I mean, there's 2 seconds left. So after he didn't get the pass off, he was like,
I thought they might have tried to run something for JaVale or something like that.
And the last play was, I didn't love that last play.
Yeah.
The lob attempt to Malik, I guess.
So both
didn't make a lot of sense.
Right. So both, I think they tried to they knew everybody would be looking for JaVale.
Right. So they kind of backdoored it a little bit.
Right. But before that, the toss to HB in the middle of the floor, because I think that had a really low shot clock. They didn't have a lot of time left on the shot clock. And it was just a bizarre play. But I got to get to a break. When we get back, Brendan Nunez joins us, Kings reporter, Sactown Sports. We'll continue to break this thing down. Then a little bit later, we're going around the NBA. 12 o'clock, we are revisiting the keys that we keep talking about from the Kings. And 12:15, we're still going to do it. Beamin' or dreamin', get them ready. Text line, YouTube chat, call line, Beamin' or dreamin', Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
We are back, Sactown Sports, here with our guy, Brendan Nunez, Kings reporter for Sactown Sports. And Brendan, you were in the Bay yesterday, had to cross that bridge and get on over there. First of all, how was the experience being the I know you did it a lot for the playoffs, but how was the experience being the away media? I haven't done that yet, so how was that?
Yeah, it was all right. I don't love Chase Center, to be honest.
Okay.
Like, it was a fine experience. You know,
Yeah.
I like Golden One Center is what I'll say.
Sure.
You know, seating and maybe just navigating the stadium and all
Right,
that.
right.
But it was a fun game. It was pretty back and forth. Sacramento was extremely competitive. I think a lot of people were pessimistic going into it. Obviously, with De'Aaron Fox out, thought that Golden State could maybe just sort of run over them, but they had their own complications. You know, third game in 4 nights. They just were in Houston, in New Orleans, 1 day off before they're back in Golden State. Now they're back on the road again to Oklahoma City, by the way. So, you know, complications for both sides, and it was a good back and forth battle.
Just in general, what do you think about Davion's performance? Obviously, a lot of eyes on him filling in for De'Aaron.
Yeah, he was fine. He did sort of as expected, right? Like, well, I guess the 3-point shot was better than fine, going 3 of 6 and really knocking down those first 2. He made it clear that he was going to shoot when defenders went under him at practice the day prior, and he was doing that and knocking it down. He also said that he told us post game that Domas was telling him, like, don't force your shots, you know, sort of just find it within the rhythm, and that he listened to that. So I thought he did sort of as expected. You know, there wasn't anything that was like new for Davion necessarily. Maybe some of those threes. I did think it was kind of fitting that, you know, he played good defense on that last possession and was just a little too small.
Too short.
And Clay let him know.
But he let
Did
him
he
know
hit him with the too
well,
short?
on
He
the
hit him
way
with
back,
the too
though.
small.
Oh,
And he rocked
I
the
saw
baby.
the video.
Where
of the
was
rock
that?
baby.
That was pretty late.
It was
though.
after he turned. So
Yeah.
he made
Yeah,
the
that's
shot.
soft to me.
Draymond and him went
That's
back
soft
and
to
forth,
me.
and then
Do it to his face, Clay.
Yeah.
We thought this was a revised Clay after all the podcasts and that I actually missed that. I saw something about it, but didn't fully watch. That's soft, Clay. Be better.
Yeah.
Be better.
Funny, Davion postgame even said, honestly, can't do any better than that. I mean, I ain't tall enough to block it.
He's not lying.
He's not. He's
wrong
not.
at
So is
all.
that
This is just kind
right?
of the
But
problem.
so they had who on that play?
They
Herder
blitzed Steph.
who was on Steph?
I don't remember off the top of my head, to be honest. I'd imagine it was Keegan, and then they had to blitz Steph. They got the ball out of his hands, and Clay made the play.
Rest is history.
The rest is history. Yeah, I mean, Clay on the night, he was 1 of 4 from 3-ball land, 6 of 15. He had 14 points. I mean, it wasn't like he was lighting the Kings up like that 37-point quarter or anything. You just had to live with it. And that's what the Kings did. And unfortunately, Clay got him. And, you know, he let him know, where are you at, as Chris very beautifully broke down the moral victory and brought me back because I was not on that side. I'm not fully on that side, but I'm closer than I was. Where are you at in terms of the moral victory situation?
I do agree with you guys. It depends how you define it, right? So I think that you can feel okay about that game, but when it comes down to it, what matters is wins and losses, and you left that with one more in the L column than you came in with. So, you know, I think that you can feel okay. You fought. There's positives to take, but they all seemed pretty down after that game. You know, they did mention, you know, like, I think they seemed frustrated. They didn't seem disappointed, but just frustrated that it wasn't a win.
Yeah.
Right. Like, they acknowledged that the defense was better and maybe just shots didn't quite go down on offense. It was really 3 guys that made pretty much all of their threes. And so, I don't know. I think there's good things to take. You can feel okay about your performance, but I mean, it's just about wins and losses. They didn't get it. Like, Coach usually talks forever. As you guys know, he gave us like 3 minutes at most. No opening statement, straight to it. And was very short. which is not typical for Coach.
Yeah, that's
let me say.
Yeah, usually
not even close.
Especially in that building too. Usually he's like, you could tell it's a little family reunion vibe, and he's all happy to see everyone, and so if he wasn't feeling it yesterday, that's definitely not nothing. That's definitely something. What'd you think about Keegan yesterday and just the shots he took? Obviously, he was guarding Steph for a big portion of yesterday's game, but was 0 of 7 from 3. What'd you think about his shots and just in general for this season? It's really clear that he's being more aggressive looking for that shot, especially coming off of Domas's screens. It feels like anytime he has even a step of open space, he's going to take it. Definitely a lot more of some off balance looks, which I don't mind because I think Keegan is good enough to have it essentially not matter. But what have you thought about Keegan's just shot attempts really throughout this season?
Yeah, I mean, he was averaging just under 10 threes a game coming into that. He shot 7 in that one. Didn't knock down a single one of them. I think you mentioned, right, he didn't shoot any in that second half,
single one,
which is kind of crazy. I felt like he was forcing a little bit. I probably should have asked about this post game, maybe at practice today, but that De'Aaron was out. I'm sure they wanted some guys to be more aggressive.
That's
right.
What I was thinking.
It almost seemed like there was potentially a conversation with Keegan of like, we want you to get more shots up. And even before De'Aaron went down, Keegan's averaging almost 10 threes a game, and coach is on him to shoot more.
Right.
Like every time you're open, if you do not shoot it, I'm going to take you out the game. So I think that he's been taking good shots. It seemed like he was maybe forcing a little bit yesterday, but he did good things on defense. Yeah. And I thought that his finishing inside the arc was still okay. He was still trying to be aggressive. So I like the aggressiveness. It was just maybe like forcing a little bit. And in my mind, that was probably because De'Aaron was out.
Right.
Yeah. Forced early. And then when things didn't fall, kind of shied him away from it. I think what's missing in Keegan's game, and not to take it here, and I also had talked about this last night, was just when Klay Thompson or some of these bigger guards get smaller guards on them, they have basically a mini post package. And I think like Keegan needs something like that for when Steph is on him. I don't think he has that yet. I think he'll get it, but it's not necessarily post up, but it's getting to your spot to get the mid range going. So I think that's what's next for him. So the other guy, and they combined for 21 points together, which that's just not going to fly, is Kevin Huerter. And we all felt good for Kevin Huerter after he knocked down that dagger against the Lakers. And yes, he had 9 rebounds in this game. And I know Boardman gets paid, but you are not paying Kevin Huerter to get rebounds. He still looks lost to me. He's passing up open shots for Davion Mitchell with De'Aaron Fox out. That's just not going to fly. What more can be done to try to get Kevin Huerter back on track?
Yeah, I think he did okay. The 3-point shot needs to go down more for sure, because that's his money maker,
why he's
right?
on the floor.
That's what he does. And I still think that even when the shot's not going down, he gets defended like an elite 3-point shooter. So he still brings that spacing. I do think the rebounding shouldn't just be looked over necessarily. Domas did joke post game that he's like he stole a couple.
Was he joking?
Get away with it.
Was he joking?
No, I think he was serious, but he laughed a little bit.
Right.
But that's part of like how you go against a guy like Looney, one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. It's like, okay, I'm going to get him out the way, and you make sure you come and grab this. But like Kevin's obviously been more aggressive on the boards recently. So I don't think that's not nothing. A couple assists in there. Like I didn't feel like he stuck out in a bad way necessarily yesterday, except for maybe like some shots that you wish would have gone down. So I feel like he's gone okay. And a lot of the conversation around Kevin in preseason was like, well, we have Duarte right here.
Right.
And he doesn't look great.
Knocking on the door. Yeah.
Like he looked fine on defense. He fouls a lot, which I think will calm down a little bit. But offensively, it's like, I can remember 2 possessions yesterday where it's like he gets a stop and then it's just like, whoa, dude, relax a little bit on the other end. So I don't know that you necessarily have a better option right now.
Yeah, it's a good point.
What do you think this morning Shams came out and said that De'Aaron might play as soon as Saturday? What are kind of your thoughts on the Saturday day, the Saturday, I won't call it a deadline, but the Saturday timeline, and just De'Aaron attacking this rehab or this injury in general? What are your thoughts?
It's pretty quick. And it's Houston.
Right.
It's not
a
like
coincidence.
I don't think Houston is as sorry as they were last year for what it's worth. Like I actually think Dylan Brooks, Fred VanVleet are pretty big gets for them. They have some veteran leadership. They got good coaching. So I don't think they're sorry necessarily, but like De'Aaron's supposed to get his high school jersey retired. And during that trip, that's home for him. That's the closest stadium to home. They have 1 day in between while they're there. I don't know. I guess if he's good to go, then it's fine. But he, kind of has a history of he has the competitive spirit that Coach Brown loves, right? He wants to play as soon as possible, but sometimes you can hurt yourself with that.
Exactly.
And so I'd imagine that if the coaching staff is not going to allow him unless he passes all the tests is what it comes down to. So if he feels fine, he passes everything, then I guess cool. But I personally would hold him out for the Houston games, just precautionary. And if you do care about that play-in game or the in-season tournament game, which they might, then give him the one game to get back in a rhythm before or something.
That's
the Portland game at home, I thought there was a chance they maybe don't even travel him, right? Like you don't want to put a guy on a plane, but it sounds like they're going to, obviously. I mean, I would play it safe, but if he passes all the tests and feels good, then I guess it's fine.
But is he traveling if it's not Houston?
Probably not.
That's what I wonder.
I don't think so either. Last one for you, Brendan. Malik Monk. He is a dog, and we've had this conversation before with what he's been able to do. He was great last night. I had a feeling he would be. He's a guy who likes to silence a crowd, and Draymond being out there, and he didn't play great against the Warriors on Friday. Do you think we're having conversations throughout the course of this season about Malik being a starter? Or do you think he's just so well fit for that sixth man, that guy off the bench? And I do have him as sixth man of the year, so I'd like for him to stay there. But do you think that there will be conversations about him coming off the bench?
Yeah, I like your sixth man of the year. I'll roll with you on that one. I think that, Coach ranted the other day, day before game day, about like how difficult it is to bring Malik into that starting lineup because what he provides off the bench is so hard to replicate. That playmaking is so important. And I think it's just about who closes games, right? And I think that if the question was sort of swapped to that, I think often, even last year, we saw Malik closing games, whether that's in place of Kevin, maybe sometimes that's in place of Harrison or Keegan if one of those guys isn't getting it done that night. So I don't think that we'll see a conversation of the starting lineup. Coach has made it pretty clear he likes him off that bench. I think there's some logic there. I did think he was kind of disappointing though yesterday. I will say. I did think so. Like,
he had a better
he was
first
scoring,
half, I guess. Yeah.
But they really needed the playmaking. He had 3 turnovers, 2 assists. Like, I just didn't feel like he was setting up guys in that same way. And I think that's part of how Golden State defends, right? They try to really take away that ball movement and make you play more isolation basketball. You saw Domas be pretty aggressive, which, by the way, I don't feel like we're talking about enough. That the Kings lost by 1 point and Domas missed 5 free throws.
Chris got it. Chris got it.
Maybe I missed that part, but
word for word.
Yeah, I think Malik is going to be expected to come off the bench. I wish the playmaking was a little bit better last night, but he was one of the few guys actually hitting threes. So
Right. That was basically just the story of last night for the Kings. They did certain things, just didn't do everything which they kind of needed to in order to overcome your all NBA superstar not being up to play against a team with another superstar. And he's probably the only one on the Warriors at this point. Superstar would be Steph, but still a solid team who's also been rolling. So Brendan Nunes, thank you, Sactown Sports Kings reporter. Go get some sleep, man. Hardest working man at the station.
Go to practice right now.
Well, you got to go to practice, then get some sleep. Go catch a power nap before. Thank you, Brendan. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Appreciate you guys.
We'll be right back. Stiles and Watkins.
Can the Niners build off their NFC Championship appearance from last season? How will the quarterbacks perform throughout the year?
Purdy back, now going to throw for the end zone, wide open, Brandon Ayuk is on fire!
Will the defense lead this squad again?
Intercepted! Ball got tipped up and taken by Fred Warner!
Get all your 49er coverage throughout the NFL season on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
O'Reilly!
When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a click away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts, tools, accessories, and supplies quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store, or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'Reilly.Auto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers, spread awareness of your product or services, We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
One of the things with running is I want to enjoy the run, but I never made it very far because the arches on my feet just killed me. So when I got to the end of my rope and I said I have to do something to get rid of the pain, and a couple people recommended the Good Feet store to me. I loved how I could go in and get a free personalized arch support fitting. They put that time, that work, that effort into helping you find the right arch supports. And you can walk around the store with these in your shoes and try them out before you purchase them. So after I got my arch supports, the arches on my feet stopped hurting and the pain instantly, literally instantly went away. So if you have pain, go. Find a Good Feet store and go. There is an answer. Find the simple solution that will get rid of your pain. I'm Rondi, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how Good Feet arch supports work for you before you buy with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
Good morning, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. Guys, the Golden State Warriors got us again.
On a double-team blitz, finds Draymond Green, pivots, throws to Thompson. Thompson rocks, fires, 18-footer, score the basket! 0.2 of a second to go. It's not Curry, it's the other Splash Brother. It's Klay Thompson.
Even in the loss, the Sacramento Kings held the Golden State Warriors to a season-low 18 points in the third quarter, and Davion Mitchell broke out with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals, starting for the injured De'Aaron Fox. In baseball, the Texas Rangers are World Series champions after winning Game 5 versus Arizona. Corey Seager won his second World Series MVP with his second team. He won it in 2020 with the Dodgers and now in 2023 with the Rangers. Those are your headlines. Let's return to more of Stiles and Watkins right here on Sactown Sports.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
We're back. Sactown Sports, Stiles and Watkins taking up to 2 p.m. 6th official show. Thank you very much to Brendan Nunez for hanging out with us, chatting, working hard. I think he left his backpack in here. Is that yours?
That's mine.
Okay, that's
That'd be pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, Brendan, you don't got to come back in. That's not your backpack. As he heads off to practice, and we'll probably have some good sound from that practice and another update on De'Aaron Fox. So hang around for that. We have some news quickly, and we'll get into it a little bit later in the show around 1:30. Debo on Up and Adams, Kay Adams show, where he is featured every week. All these guys are doing, I guess Pat McAfee started it because now Aaron Rodgers is on every week.
Yep.
Debo's getting cashed out, I would assume. That's the move to me.
Yeah.
It's not the podcast. I would do a feature, if I were an athlete, I would do a feature every week because Up and Adams, they're cashing them out.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to worry about people getting really upset about you doing it during the season, like Micah Parsons or Draymond Green. You just do your thing. You show up. You still get the same sound bites because I don't like how many people that aren't Cowboy fans are firing up Micah Parsons' full podcast. I don't know.
I don't know. The Bleacher Report app keeps sending me all these notifications for it.
This is enough, and I'm sure he's getting cashed out. It's enough. But Debo says that he's ready to go, which is a great sign, and not especially because they have a bye.
Right.
Getting back into Kings Talk, 916-339-1140. Let's go out to Ken, who wants to talk Golden State versus the Kings as Golden State beats the Kings 102-101. What's up, Ken? You're on Stiles and Watkins.
Hey, what's up, gentlemen, man? Last night it was a beautiful game, man. I had called in yesterday, and, the question was, what's the formula that the Kings needed last night to beat the Warriors? Hey, man, I called it right, man, but it was the one thing that they didn't do. The nemesis. They didn't score in the fourth quarter. Kind of fell off in the third, but they did everything right, man. They held Curry. We didn't do our season average. What our season average? 120, 125? We didn't. We lessen the possessions, because that's also one thing I mentioned, to lessen the possessions and play good defense. I think the Kings are in a good place right now, especially by being so early in the season and your star goes down. You want to see where your team is at early. You know what I'm saying? So late in the season, they already know, they understand their role. You know, I'm proud of the Kings. I'm proud of the way they're being coached right now. I'm proud of the way Keegan Murray has stepped up his game. I mean, I'm looking forward to a good year. Last night, I know we can look at all the good things, but we want the victory at the end of the day because it was a heartbreaker. But, hey, man, at the end of the day, man, our Kings is, hey, man, they passing all the tests, man.
Great call.
Yes.
Great call from Ken.
Ken, love it. That's awesome. I love the positivity. And thank you for being on my moral victory side.
Right.
Man.
Chris has got it going today.
I'm telling you, man. Like, it's just, like, again, they didn't get the result, but the process was there, man. Like, they did what they had to do in order to put themselves in a situation to win. And the thing they had to do was be a team that they haven't been before in the past. Like, that was a brand new experience for this Kings team. We have not seen them slow the possessions down, like Ken mentioned. Like, there was a lot of possessions that the Kings took all the way down to like the bottom of the shot clock. It was a lot of, okay, give the ball to Sabonis and then everyone work around him, cut, get around, let him set a dribble handoff screen. And that stuff takes time to develop. And normally, of course, with De'Aaron Fox, the fastest player in the league, you're going to have some possessions where Sabonis is going to do that thing. But a lot of times it's let's get to the rim as fast as possible and let's get into the offense, everything quick. And yesterday wasn't the case. They won, or tried to win, I should say, as a moral victory win. They played by limiting possessions and by playing defense. And that's almost the complete opposite of what this Kings calling card was. So the fact that, they were able to fight in a different style, I think is a massive, massive positive. Of course, you would love to get the result, but at the same time, the ability to play or to fight in a different style, if you will, I think that's a major plus and a bonus for this team that's also still growing. This is not a Kings team that was in the conference finals last year and is, they have one singular goal. This is still a building process. And I think yesterday was a great step in a building process. Having your guys be able to compete against a really good team without your star and be seconds away from pulling out a victory, that's a win. That is a major win in the process.
Yeah. It's hard to be upset, right? I guess the other part of it is the opposite. If you do feel bad today because they weren't able to get it done, just think about how bad you would have felt if they got their doors blown off.
Exactly.
Right. And if they just didn't even compete and they didn't show up. And honestly, we talked a little bit about it even yesterday. We wanted the victory, wanted to see the beam, but a lot of it was just be competitive throughout the whole thing.
Yep.
Right. And where it did start to, great call on Ken's part, where it did start to kind of get a little shaky, and Malik Monk talked about it as well, was at the end of the third and in that fourth quarter offensively. And who normally takes off in the fourth?
Well, in the De'Aaron, right?
De'Aaron. So
Fox.
there's no De'Aaron. That was the situation where they
lean on him. Like it's almost like it truly is his quarter.
Right. So palms got a little sweaty.
Yep.
There was nobody that was really rolling enough to feel like, okay, well, now I can take over. And it turned into a little bit of hot potato. And Sabonis did what he could do. But in this game, especially when you're playing the Warriors, you're not going to beat the Warriors with twos, right? And that's what Sabonis was bringing to the table. Not able to get the three ball going, so you're not able to get it done. But again, if you play like that and you're able to hold the Warriors, a very good offensive team, down, and you do have a De'Aaron, you got to feel good about where they're at. Now, again, are you able to hold Steph under 30? Maybe not. But even if Steph gets 30 that next time you play and you have De'Aaron, the Kings probably still win that game. So, and you're probably not going to get 15 from Dario Saric, who honestly could not hit threes throughout the whole course of the season. And last night was his coming out party. So, I mean, good on them for getting it done. Good on the Kings for, sticking with it and finding a way to just hang around and just giving themselves an opportunity to win. And hopefully, again, fourth game of the season, hopefully moving forward, you feel like, hey, We remember that game against, hopefully De'Aaron's not out again, but remember that game against the Warriors when this happened and that happened. We weren't able to pull it out, and Kevin's legs were a little heavy and Keegan's legs were a little heavy because they were chasing around ex-superstar. Well, now we can refer back to that, and we're going to do this differently. We're going to do that differently. So it's all a learning experience. And, a lot of people will say, oh, well, that's the loser talk or whatever it is. Well, it's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the truth. And again, it is a long season. Yeah. We would not be talking like this if it was game number 75. No. We would not be talking about this if it was game number 82. Mm-hmm. But it is very early on in the season. Yeah. And to your point, Chris, this is not a team that's a perennial playoff team. This is a team still a bit wet behind the ears and trying to find their footing as a contender in this league.
Yeah, absolutely. And can I just say that Brendan did make me feel a little bit less good about the moral victory stance when he pointed out the Warriors' run of play recently, when he was like, oh yeah, they're actually coming back from a really terrible road trip, and this is literally just a stop back at home. And let's not forget Steph Curry dropped 42 points last game against the Pelicans. So like Mike Brown said, maybe Steph was a little bit tired, and the Kings did get the Warriors on a pretty advantageous night for the Kings. But whatever. The both teams were playing under bad circumstances. That's right. And what happened. But I'm still feeling massively positive. Well, that definitely did a little sprinkling of like, ooh, that's a counter right.
Well,
there.
Don't get me wrong. And I am the king, no pun intended, of two things can be true.
Yeah.
And as much as it can be a moral victory, it still was a missed opportunity, in my opinion. Right. It still was a missed opportunity because of those things that Brendan highlighted, and just the game in general. If you just watch the game, the Warriors looked like they had been playing that much.
Kings were up late in that fourth quarter. I mean, they were only up 3, but they still had the lead down the stretch of that game. And, they were trading baskets with the Warriors back and forth. You could argue the Kings get one stop in that last 3 minutes of the game and then score, make that a 5-point game.
Yeah.
I think they kind of have it sealed at that point. And what happened? Gary Payton took a weird runner in the paint. The Steph Curry floater, the Draymond back cut, and then the Clay shot.
That Gary Payton floater had me sick to my stomach.
That was a King special. That shot specifically only goes in against the Sacramento Kings. It only goes in against
It just gave me Patrick Ewing vibes when he was at Georgetown. Do you practice that shot? Gary Payton does not practice that shot. I can guarantee. Yeah. I guarantee.
A fadeaway, I think it was like across it was almost like a running hook.
First of all, I've only seen Gary Payton dribble about 6 times in my whole life. And he's in the lane taking a floater. I'm thinking, what type of sorcery is this?
Yeah. Even the Steph shot right before Domas's bank, it hits the front rim, hits the front rim again, and falls in.
The members only roll. But to be fair, if we're going to talk about it like this, Domas did
bank it in.
The bank was open, I guess. Chase was
not
open.
Ideal.
So everybody, the end of that game was a bit wonky, but that Gary Payton shot, do you practice that shot? Because I'm telling you,
bro,
that man does not.
When he hit that, I was like, this is
not it.
Trauma.
As soon as that happened, I thought, I don't like this. Yeah. GP2 with the runner.
Yep.
Give me a break. All right, gotta get to a break. Stiles and Watkins, when we get back, taking a trip around the NBA. That's what's up next and much more. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916 520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The 49ers Report, brought to you by EB Stone. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. Not much went right for the red and gold in Week 8, losing their third straight game of the season, 31-17. Cincinnati quarterback Joe Burrow was cooking early, throwing for 283 yards and 3 touchdowns. Running back Joe Mixon also got involved, going for 87 yards on the ground. His lone touchdown put the exclamation point on the visitors' victory, walking in from 5 yards out late in the fourth quarter. The 49ers entered their bye week at 5-3, dropping to second in the NFC West.
With over 100 years as a family-owned company, EB Stone's learned a few things about making plants grow. Start a healthy family hobby with indoor planting with EB Stone's Edna's Best indoor and outdoor potting soil to help your little plants grow into the perfect indoor plant for the kids and family to enjoy. EB Stone's indoor and outdoor potting soil is perfectly blended with all the important ingredients you need to create that perfect indoor and outdoor plant or garden. EB Stone, for the life of your garden. Visit ebstone.org for more gardening tips, products, and locations near you. For 35 years, TruckSmart has been your local leader in truck accessories. Find racks, toolboxes, and lighting for your work truck, and trailer hitches, side steps, and bed covers for recreation. They have shells for work or play, and offer Rhino lining, the best bed protection in the business. You like overlanding? TruckSmart has rooftop tents, recovery gear, and heavy-duty bumpers. Trust your ride to their skilled installers and expert sales staff at the Rockland and Auburn locations. TruckSmart. Your truck's gonna love them. TruckSmart.com.
Guys, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is making you this guarantee. We will improve the medical condition of your ED or low T, or we'll give you your money back. Book your free appointment today. Call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
We're back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. We have Kevin Dana of the Santa Cruz Warriors, play-by-play guy, also does a Warriors Roundtable. That's at 12:45. Beamin' or Dreamin', 12:15. Beamin' or Dreamin'. I'm stuck right now.
Yeah.
I don't know which way I'm going to go. I think I know which way you're going to go.
We'll see.
And Kyle, I never know which way Kyle's going to go as we take a trip around the NBA. LeBron James.
Never heard of him. Never in my life.
I think he's pretty good.
LeBron James with a 35-point game. So that game was on a little bit after. It was still going when the Kings and Warriors game ended. And, the Lakers, and LeBron's done this for years. He has mastered he's literally a boxer, right? Head body. He is literally a boxer in that he hangs around.
Yep.
He just kind of
stays in the fight.
Lets the team, lets you get ahead. He tried to do it against the Kings, but the Kings ended up getting the victory, but they did end up tying it up where he's just feeling it out. He's taking punches. He's filling out the team. He lets you get ahead by 10, whatever it is.
And rope a dope.
He's done it with multiple teams.
Yeah.
Multiple teams. And I think the older he's gotten, the more he's just conserving his energy. So you're looking up and the Clippers are winning. Wow, okay, the Clippers, and James Harden didn't play because why would he? Because he doesn't actually like basketball. He just likes being a star. So James Harden is not playing. He's just on the bench. But the Clippers are doing their thing. Paul George, they're making shots. Kawhi Leonard. Then all of a sudden I look up and it's a 5-point game. Then all of a sudden I look up and the Lakers are winning. And the Lakers win. And I just don't know what to do with this human being.
I mean, is he a human being? Are we sure that LeBron at this point is?
I don't know, man.
Are we seriously built from the same cloth? Because it doesn't feel like it. I mean, he's ridiculous. I mean, the fact that they threw away that what was Darvin Ham's plan at the beginning of the 28 minutes they were planning to play him.
Yeah,
I think yesterday he played 42 or something like that. Of course, they went into overtime, but yeah, I mean, he's different. The fact that the Lakers are even brought up in contention contention talk
right,
is solely because LeBron James is that ridiculous. Like he knows, and he's so smart. Like you're saying, he attacks the game differently.
Right.
Like there's Tom Brady famously talks about, in the Super Bowl, you have to almost treat that game like it's an own individual entity because the halftime show is so long, the commercial breaks are so long. It's almost like a completely different rhythm than any other football game you're going to play.
Right.
And that's exactly what you're describing with how LeBron attacks every single game, it feels like nowadays, where he'll have like 12 points heading into the fourth quarter. And then he just takes that opportunity to be like, I'm bigger, I'm stronger, I'm faster, and now I have more energy than you do right now because you've been giving it all for 36 minutes, and I'm just getting going right now.
Right.
So he's just figured out how to win the game mentally, and that's what makes him able to do this in year 21. I saw a Stat Muse tweet earlier yesterday that said, in year 21, the highest points per game total was Dirk at 7 points per game. LeBron's averaging 24 right now. So like he's doing things. I mean, he's already been doing things that we've never seen before, but the level that he is still at this point in time in his career, it's unheard of. It's insane. And like, I mean, at what point do we stop trying to put limitations on this guy? Because clearly he just figures out how to remain effective even at 38, soon to be 39 years old. It's insane.
It really is. And, to take a step back, just looking at some of the athletes that we have, depending on what generation you are, that we have been able to see, it's really been incredible because our age, we were basically towards the end of Michael Jordan. I
got Wizards Jordan.
I got Wizards Jordan too. I actually have a hat signed by Michael Jordan from the Wizards.
I got Jordan's Hall of Fame press conference. That's all I got.
You're young. We know. All right. You got that. So you got a little bit of Jordan there. And this is just basketball. I mean, there's so many other sports. Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, all these guys, Barry Bonds, right? And if you're looking specifically, Patrick Mahomes, if you're looking specifically at basketball, to have LeBron James, Steph Curry as well, it's really just a battle. KD, it's a battle of which one of these guys is truly going to slow down. And Steph is a smidge younger than LeBron, and obviously they play completely different types of basketball. But yeah, man, LeBron and seeing him in person for the first time, I mean, it's really just he's learned to just do things his way and manipulate the way he plays to what's going to fit kind of his where he is in his journey, in his career. So it's ridiculous, and it makes me sick to talk positively about LeBron on the basketball court. Off the basketball court, love what he's done and all that jazz, but just it's been crazy to watch. And speaking of the Jazz, they handed the Grizzlies another L. They got spanked by the Jazz, 109-133. And the Grizzlies are the only winless team in the NBA, the only one. So when you talk about the teams where you can't just roll the ball out, and they'll figure it out, they get Ja back. Now they're what? They got 20 more games until they get Ja back, but they could be 20. They might be 20 games back of anybody else. You move off of Tyus Jones. I think that was a mistake. I think he is a very high-level backup point guard. You bring in Marcus Smart. I don't know what's going on there. Clearly, it hasn't been much.
Nope.
So Jaren Jackson is one of the most confusing players in the history of basketball. And you talk about ugly shots. I mean, when he's
disgusting.
Playing the Warriors, I'm just thinking, again, I would just let you shoot.
Yeah.
And it goes in.
Yeah.
But apparently it hasn't been going in lately because they can't get a W. So that's pretty brutal. So, I mean, would you say that's another team? Is it too early to say that's another team that the Kings don't have to worry about?
I would say so. I mean, I know the Kings started 0-4 last year and they were able to turn things around, but this is not that situation. Like you said, they don't have Ja for another 20 games.
Right.
So they need to figure it out in the interim. And then once Ja comes back, they need to be established and ready to go for Ja to also enter the situation, because what's probably going to happen is they'll figure it out around the time that Ja comes back, because they do have talent on their roster, and they should be in contention at least for a play-in at this point. They have that kind of talent, but it's going to take them some time when Ja comes back. Like, it's going to, not only is it going to take time right here, right now to figure out how to play without Ja, but when Ja comes back, and they've been playing for 25 games without him, finally figuring out how to get results.
Right.
That's when Ja's going to come back, and then they're going to have to relearn everything and figure out how to integrate him into the lineup.
Yeah.
Desmond Bane's been playing really well. Does he have to take a step back? Does he, at this point, does he deserve to take a step back? Because, Ja hasn't been the most reliable guy for them over the past calendar year.
Mm-hmm.
And how much can you really, I'm not that Ja's going to run into this situation again, hopefully not, but like Desmond Bane has just done nothing but play great for them. And it feels wrong to take shots away from him because, Ja made a mistake, and Desmond Bane's going to be the thing that keeps them afloat. So I don't think Memphis is completely out of the equation, but in terms of like, will Memphis be a 2-seed or a team that is dangerous in the eyes of the Kings? I don't think so. I don't think that they're the team that they were last year.
Right.
And let's not forget they don't have Steven Adams all year either.
Right. And, speaking of having an investment in a certain player, they cashed out Desmond Bane too. So how much do they think about that as they, try to stay afloat until Ja gets back? All right. So Celtics drop 155 on the Pacers. They win by 51.
In regulation. My goodness.
That is brutal.
The Kings scored 176 in double overtime, and that was like the highest scoring game.
I mean, that is
155 in regulation is nuts.
Celtics are kind of front runner-ish to me.
Oh, for sure.
So I don't know how much I believe this is going to translate, but I do think that they got guys when Jason Tatum's rolling. We've been waiting for Jason Tatum to take that next step. We've also been waiting for him to turn 24 because he's been 23 for what feels like about 6 years.
He's only 19.
He's only 19. So
crazy.
Jason Tatum is a guy who they've gone to the finals. They haven't been able to get over the hump. It feels unfair, and I've been on that side of being unfair to this tandem. They refuse to say no to this tandem. So is this going to be the year they're off to a hot start? And lastly, we just have something funny before we go to break. Pool boy alley-oops to Jacuzzi. They were down 20, and the Washington Wizards decide to throw off the glass alley-oop. Here's how it sounds.
I don't know what kind of shot that was. Jalen's pass picked off by Kuzma. Ahead of the pack is Poole, and he's going to lob it off the glass for Kuzma.
That made it a 19-point deficit.
Yeah, and that's just, I mean, I personally didn't mind it because, hey, you paid to see.
Sure.
If they had messed it up, though, and Jordan Poole's already been on Shaqtin' a Fool about 3 different times, if they had messed that up, I think that team would have just got sent to the G League, the whole team. They just have the Washington Wizards would have 2 G League teams.
Yes, yeah. The Capital, I think it's the Capital Go-Go's and the Washington
They would just have to scrimmage against each other for the rest of the season.
Even though he made it, I could talk about this for like 3 hours. There is so much stuff.
It didn't bother me, though.
Oh, it didn't bother
you,
me at all.
It was not a good decision. Like, it was, I personally wouldn't have done it. It doesn't feel like the right time or the right setting to do it when you're down 20, but that's definitely Jordan Poole for you.
But hold on now, we got to get to a break. But nowadays, is it worse to do that down 20 or up 20?
Some would tell you up 20. I mean, some would definitely tell you that's disrespecting the game and your opponent to do that when you're up 20. So, and you know what? Shout out Jordan Poole, who is probably the epitome of keeping that same energy, because I think he would do it up 20 the same way he would do it down 20.
They're going to be down 20 a lot. He's going to be pulling up from 33 feet and throwing the Nick Young deuces out there.
I hope so. I hope he does the shimmy like Kemba Walker. Shout out Kemba Walker. I heard he's balling out.
Again, this team might be my favorite team this year. It's going to be so funny.
Or as the Washington Wizards would say, they're only down 20.
They're only down 20.
Based on this season, you're right.
And your style points takes it to, okay, you're still down 19, but it looked pretty. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we are revisiting the keys from yesterday's game, the checklist. What did the Kings get done and where did they miss? And at 12:15, that's right, it's time. Beamin' or dreamin'. We're not going to do one for a little bit because they've had these big games against the Lakers and the Kings. We've been doing them. We're not going to do them this often. Normally, this will be the last Beamin' or dreamin' until I'd probably say the road trip. So Beamin' or dreamin', 12:15. We'll get your thoughts. 12 o'clock when we get back, revisiting the keys from yesterday's game. Where did they do it? Where did they do it up? And where did they mess up? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit HTK.com.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out. Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you know one of the worst things you can do is turn on your furnace after it's been sitting there all summer, gathering dust, without giving it a thorough tune-up first?
Think about it. What if your car had been sitting in the garage for 6 months without ever running?
Any piece of machinery that's been sitting needs to be tuned up. So call Bell Brothers. We'll tune up your furnace for just $87 and guarantee the results.
We guarantee that your tuned-up furnace will save you $87 on your energy bills. And we guarantee that your tuned-up furnace won't break down during the season, or we'll immediately refund your money. No questions asked.
Don't delay. Small problems that are easy and inexpensive to fix can quickly turn into big, expensive problems.
Call Bell Brothers right now to schedule your furnace tune-up at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine. Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter. These are your Sactown Sports headlines. You guys, the Golden State Warriors, they got us again.
On a double-team blitz, finds Draymond Green, pivots, throws to Thompson. Thompson rocks, fires, 18-footer, score the basket, 0.2 of a second to go.
The Sacramento Kings did hold the Golden State Warriors to a season-low 18 points in the third quarter, while Davion Mitchell broke out with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals, starting for injured De'Aaron Fox. In baseball, the Texas Rangers are World Series champs. After winning Game 5 in Arizona, Corey Seager won his second World Series MVP with his second team. He won it in 2020 with the Dodgers and now 2023 with the Rangers. Bruce Bochy is also the second manager post-World War II to win 4 World Series championships. Those are your headlines. Reminder, all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Let's return to more of Stiles and Watkins.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
We are back halfway through 2 more hours with you. Stiles and Watkins, 6th official show as we reset here at this 12 o'clock hour. Couple texts to get through on the text line. And if you want to be a part of the conversation, 916-339-1140. We've had some great calls today. Also, the YouTube chat, always keeping it live. If you want to hop on YouTube, you can watch us and listen to us as well. Chris looking crispy again.
Hi.
And his crew always got it going on. So from the 925, great game last night. I hope Fox was watching Old Curry bring that effort defensively. So the same way I have a radar, 925, that's where I'm from.
Yep.
I think we have a Warriors fan in here. That sounds like a Warriors fan to me. 925, please reveal yourself. You know how this works. Please reveal yourself. Are you a Warriors fan? And if you are, thank you for listening anyway to Stiles and Watkins. Here on the 209, huge Kings fan, super excited to see a De'Aaron-less Kings team put up a heck of a fight and be in a position to win last night. Having said all that, if Sabonis makes some free throws, if Keegan makes a 3, we're having a much different conversation. They also want to talk about how the Warriors got to play much more physical than the Kings did, and that goes to a couple of those plays. And Kings on NBC Sports posted 2 plays, and we reviewed them together during the break. Obviously, we saw them in real time and watched the replays yesterday. Chris, Kyle, and myself watched them during a break and did not think that the foul on Kevin Huerter was a foul. I thought that was clean.
Or the foul on Moody.
The foul on Moody.
Yeah, the block where it looked like Moody swiped his soul when they both went up at the same time.
Right. I thought that was clean. I think we all did. Maybe it looked a little bit weird, but I thought that was clean. And then also the play with Sabonis underneath.
Right.
That was a weird one.
It's really weird.
It almost looked like initially Draymond got the ball and then got Sabonis' arm, but the ball would have already been loose by then. Still, nobody had possession. And then that second one, Draymond, in my opinion, did hack Sabonis' arm. But in that situation, I could see that not getting called.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're all fighting for the loose ball.
It's been called before. It's not been called before. Right. That's why you don't want to be in a close game against the Warriors. On the road.
Yep.
That's why you shouldn't do that. And that's why Sabonis, I know you did a lot. I know you were looking like Kevin Hart out there. Help me! Help me! You did a lot, but you couldn't get those free throws down. And Keegan Murray didn't help you out on the three-point line, even though he did his thing defensively on Steph Curry. From the 916, based on how Mike Brown handled the press conference last night, I have a feeling it bothered him a lot. I would not be surprised if the Kings go on an 8-game win streak. So we looked up the next 8 games.
Yeah.
Chris did, and it's actually doable.
It's actually pretty doable. I mean, the Kings' next 8 games is at Houston, and then they come back to Sacramento to play the Portland Trailblazers and then the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first game of the in-season tournament. So we'll see about that Thunder game. Of course, the Thunder kind of meant to be the Kings of this year, if you will, is kind of the goal they're going for. So who knows how that game goes. Kings then play the Cleveland Cavaliers, who they swept last year, then go to at Lakers, at San Antonio, and then at Dallas. So that's the next 8 games. You know, there's definitely that Cavs, Lakers, Spurs, Maverick stretch. Isn't it, it's not the easiest thing, but at the same time, you're not playing the Denvers, the Phoenixes, the Milwaukees, the Bostons of the world, the Phillies. And so, those are very, very winnable games. And if our guy De'Aaron Fox is supposed to be back for a majority of those, I mean, the Kings realistically, good teams are supposed to beat other good teams, And so, they should be able to it shouldn't be out of the realm of possibility.
No, it shouldn't be. And it's funny because you talk about the Cavs, and when we did this I think it was last week, the Cavs have better odds to win the title than the Kings.
Yep.
So if there's anybody like that, not that Vegas rules all, well, depending on who you talk to, but anybody that is seen as better than the Kings in any spectrum, I would say that the Kings should feel some type of way when they face that team. And I think they felt some type of way last night. Unfortunately, the ball just didn't drop for them in the bucket enough from three-point land. So let's revisit the keys from yesterday in our checklist and see where the Kings got it done and where the Kings did not. The first one that we had, and I have mine here, Chris, I know you have yours. Stop Steph.
Huh.
Ding, 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 ding.
Noble premise.
Got that one.
Yeah,
so
they definitely did that
I would definitely say that they checked that box.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, that was like Mike Brown. We played the sound earlier. I would say that's the best defense they've been able to play on Steph. Obviously, not even Steph is a smart player. He's not just going to chuck shots up, but just from the sense of getting the ball out of his hands is a massive victory. Anytime you can take the playmaking ability away from Steph, whether it be playmaking for himself or for others, getting the ball out of his hands is massive. And the Kings did a great job of just making his day really difficult. And that's pretty much what we talked about yesterday. It's just making it hard for him and not having him have an easy 30-point game. So definitely, I would say that's a check, right?
That's a check. The next one,
I had attacked the basket, which let me see what they ended up points in the paint here. The Kings did lose the points in the paint battle 38-46. I will say, though, down the stretch in that last minute, seeing Kevin Huerter get to the rim, hit that layup, it was a tough layup. Seeing Davion Mitchell go to the rim and hit, Malik Monk go to the rim and hit that layup at the end of the game. I loved it. I loved in that moment for them to recognize that though they didn't get to the rim throughout the majority of the game, when it mattered the most, they understood, let's try and get the easiest shot possible, because we saw De'Aaron in that game on Friday when they played Golden State the first time. He was taking step back, mid-range jump shot, like a ton of bad shots.
Yeah.
And in that moment there where, again, they're trading baskets back and forth with Golden State, going from a 3-point lead to a 1-point lead to back and forth, you had to get as easy of a shot as possible, and getting to the rim in those situations, I thought it was awesome. So half a check, I guess.
Right. And some of that came from the 3-point shot not falling, right?
That's
Keegan started going to the lane because his 3-point shot wasn't falling, which, hey, it still counts. It still technically counts. I mean, Malik Monk, I tell you, and I'm always talking positively about this guy, even though Brendan Nunez, our Sactown Sports Kings reporter, thought that he could have did a bit more playmaking. I thought that Davion did a lot of the playmaking, so maybe that's why, and nobody else was hitting shots. So I think Malik was just in go mode. And there were a couple of times where Malik took GP2, the vaunted defender for the Warriors. He took that man to the cup.
Yeah.
Easy money.
Yeah. He's special. Malik is really, really special. Like, his talent is really up there. Like, if he were to have extended minutes, if he plays 32 minutes a night, I just feel like he can impact the game so much. I mean, last night plays 24 minutes. More times than not, he's going to be in that mid-20s range. But it's not because he doesn't have the talent to be one of the best players. I mean, just skill for skill.
Right.
Feels like there's not really much on the basketball floor that he can't do, and not a spot that he can't get to. So, definitely. I was a big fan of Malik last night. Definitely, if I had to guess, I've sat next to Brendan for a good handful of games.
Right.
Malik Monk still takes those shots sometimes where he's almost the ultimate no, yes guy. Where it's like the entire time it's in the air, you're like, why did you take that shot? That's such a bad shot. Everyone's so, oh my God, it went in. Okay, yeah, great shot, man. Good job.
Great shot. Don't do it again, but great shot. And that goes into my next one anyway. That was going to be, or that was one of them. And since we already talked about it, we can check it off the list to get Malik Monk going, which they clearly did. So let's go back to you for the next one.
This one hurts. Get to the line. They got to the line a good amount. How many free throws? 23 free throws to Golden State's 15. Talked about how last year Golden State had the biggest difference between free throws taken on their side versus free throws given up. Kings did a good job of getting to the line, especially Domantas Sabonis went to the line 12 times. Problem is he missed 5 of them.
Man.
And again, in a 1-point game, when you miss 5 free throws, it's sometimes just as easy as that to just say, hey man, we literally were given the opportunity to win this game. We just didn't execute. And it sucks. They did shoot 78%, which I believe is above their season average so far. So minor victory there, but at the same time, Sabonis has to be better than 7 of 12. I think he was 5 of 10 and then hit 2 in a row. So it was a really bad night at the line for him, and everybody else knocked down all their free throws except for Sabonis. So Sabonis is of course a big reason they were in the game, but at the same time, you got to hit those free throws.
So is that checked off the list or no?
I guess. I mean, I said get to the line. I did, as we expanded on get to the line, I did say you also have to make them, but beggars can't be choosers. So getting to the line is step one.
Yeah. All right. We got a couple more, and then we're getting to beaming or dreaming. Line them up right now. I'm still not sure where I'm going to go. We're going to find out where Kyle's at. We're going to find out where Chris is at. We're going to find out where you're at on the call line, on the text line, and on the YouTube chat when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's TRYPIE.com.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
We are back. Sactown Sports, Stiles and Watkins. LMA bringing us back. I just thought that whole thing with LMA and Jacquees was hilarious because so basically she made this song Boot Up, right? And it's a banger. Yep. Everybody loves it.
This song is really good.
Everybody loves this song. And actually I might be getting it confused, right? It was Trippin'. LMA has a different song. I'm trippin'.
Oh, Trippin'.
Right.
Yeah.
So Jacquees did just a cover, which blew up bigger than LMA's song. And LMA put out, and it was never on Spotify, but it just blew up so much on YouTube. He put out like a cease and desist.
Oh my God.
And he had it on no albums or anything. And now he was just recently, LMA is from the UK. He was in the UK performing it and everybody's singing along. And it's like, LMA, I love you, but if he made look, you gonna do that to Lil Wayne?
No.
Yes.
Lil Wayne does it. No.
Get your money out of it. Like, you got to get I mean, it's weird because, like you said, it's not an album.
Right. It was a different time. I mean, if it's not on Spotify, what's the problem?
He just ripped her off.
But if it's
Lil Wayne
a
does it all
mixtape,
the
that's
time.
no problem.
Yeah,
mixtapes don't count.
No problem.
Yeah, no, it's just, you're right. There's nothing she can really do about it, but it's just kind of messed up.
No, that's art. Art inspires art, and that's what you're supposed to do.
This is just a cover. This is just the exact same song.
Okay, but was it messed up when Lil Wayne did No Ceilings and all that?
No.
It's a little before my time, but
oh my goodness,
just cover albums in general. No, you create music so that you can inspire others to make sound that is based, and sometimes it is quite literally your music, but it's just a different refreshed version.
But it's word for word.
No, it's not.
It's a re-inspiration.
It's just the same beat.
Yeah.
It's just the same beat.
So
he freestyled over it.
Oh, I got
he didn't just it wasn't a cover. Sorry if I said cover. He just used a different beat.
Oh, okay. That changes my opinion a little bit.
Yeah. It's not. Look, it's all better than Olivia Rodrigo, who just puts out different Paramore songs in different versions. So don't get me started on that. All right. Did you have? I had the only one because I see the Beamin' or Dreamin's coming in now.
Yeah.
So
I'm upset.
Wait. Before just to finish the keys to the game. The only other one I had two more. I had Get Herder going, which clearly is not a check. And then after that, I had no foul trouble, which was a check.
Uh-huh.
So again, there were more checks than not. What did you have left?
Yeah, you can add to more checks because mine was create turnovers, and they definitely did that.
They did.
They made Golden State's life incredibly difficult. 17 turnovers to the Kings 12.
Wow.
But even the I didn't even notice really the Kings 12 because the 17 from the Warriors was so loud. Like, there's different kinds of turning the ball over.
Yeah.
And every time the Warriors turned the ball over, it felt like it was a dumb mistake.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like they were getting trapped and just like almost like they were in 6th grade or something, or Pee-wee basketball and just like throwing the ball behind their head.
When West Virginia and when they put on the press, when they put on the press in March Madness, and everybody just loses their mind. I mean, that one that went through, that went between GP2's legs. I literally thought I was watching 6th grade B team. And then Draymond threw one away where he thought somebody was going to cut. I'm
he
just
got
thinking,
so mad on that one.
He got really mad on that one. But Draymond reminds me of Derek Carr. It's always somebody else's fault.
Yeah.
When he turns the ball over, it's never his fault. And by the way, you're going to want to hang on because after we talk to Kevin Dana, play-by-play for Santa Cruz Warriors, you got to hear this Draymond sound.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if there's a guy that lacks self-awareness like Draymond
I almost
Green.
respect it. I really do.
Is it a bit?
I almost respect living in a completely different universe than the one that we all live in.
Good tease.
I really do.
916-339-1140. Let's get it going. Let's start with Kyle. Beaming or dreaming?
Okay, well, I need clarification again because last time you set the bar for Beeman at Western Conference Finals, NBA Finals.
We changed it to getting further than they got this past season. Or last season.
Last season. So second round of the playoffs.
Yes.
Okay.
I think we should just change this to, do we feel like the Kings are in a more positive direction than even, like, are they building on what they did last year?
Yes.
Well, now the bar is changing.
The bar does keep changing.
This is very confusing.
The bar is better than last season.
Okay.
Better than last season.
Yeah. Do we feel like they're on the track? Stop it.
You see, you asked for this clarification when you already had that in the chamber.
Yeah.
So I said at the start of the season, remember, somewhere between the 4 and the 6 seed in the West,
No
right?
one remembers.
I do.
I said that, and no 4-game sample size is going to push me off of that, especially because guess where they're at right now? Tied for 6th in the Western Conference.
Wow.
So I'm going to stick
up.
with where I am. They're going to finish lower than the 3 seed last year. That doesn't mean they'll lose in the first round necessarily, but they'll be lower than the 3 seed.
Wow. Turn that off.
Yeah, turn that off.
Unless
no,
Chris,
don't bump it. I'm gonna especially after last night.
Yeah, you can't go in a different direction.
I'm beaming. I'm definitely feeling positive about just the game that those guys were able to put together. Of course, like they weren't able to knock down shots, but again, I think last night was just a great show of the depth of this team and the different fights that they're able to fight, I think is really important. The fact that they're not just one note, it's not just, hey, our game is to outscore you, and if we don't just like sheer outforce you by scoring, then we're not going to win this game. I think the ability to show different ways of playing basketball and different ways of getting a win is something I am more than welcome to see this year, and they were really, really close to doing that yesterday, and I can't really back down from my moral victory stance, so I feel great about this team right now.
You can't. We have on the 916, now I'm just stalling here.
Yeah, I'm like,
on the 916, we have Beeman. That's from the 916. Let's see what else we got going on the chat. I see a couple Beemans here. Caesar 916, dreaming until we have a balanced offense and defense. Then I'll be beaming. I think I understand that. Oh, man, this is tough. They're still coming in.
You're the tiebreaker, too.
Chew Saturn says, about to go to sleep. I don't know if that's because of Kyle's music or if you're dreaming as well.
It was.
I am going to say.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man. Oh, this is probably the toughest one, but I feel like I'm dreaming in terms of playing the Warriors. I think I'm beaming in general, but I'm dreaming when it comes to the Warriors. I don't want the Kings to see the Warriors again. I don't want that.
That's fair. I mean, I think the team would agree with you that they don't want to see the Warriors again. Not necessarily that they don't feel like they can beat them, but just they're just probably really sick and tired of looking at them.
So, it's kind of a cop-out, to be completely honest with you, because
we're at game 4. It's okay to not.
You brought me back. I just think that you did everything you were supposed to do.
Yeah. Except for get the result. So there's a lot of reasons to be beaming, but this is a results-based business. It sure is.
Right? Even what we're doing is a results-based business. Look, all these podcasts out there, like we've joked about before, nobody's made a bad podcast.
Right.
Everybody finishes a podcast and says that was fire.
That was awesome.
That was fire. We're on our way. I just think, and we're going to get into self-awareness, I just think that a lot of people lack self-awareness, just like Draymond Green, and I think Mike Brown, I think he feels good about it, but I think he understands that he missed an opportunity. So for now, I'm dreaming. I'm sorry. That's my first dreaming too. I don't feel good about it.
Had a good run.
Klay Thompson did this to you.
We're still early.
Klay Thompson did do this to me. Jess Escoto is beaming. Dwayne Baker is dreaming. Amid Rock is beaming. It's pretty split today.
Yeah.
Some people are devastated by that loss, man.
That's what I'm saying.
It's early.
Chris,
I think
so early.
I think Chris pulled a lot of people in though.
I hope so. I mean, I'm telling you, man, like there's nothing.
Okay, can I say yes, dreaming, but also Chris was just spitting fire with the moral victories today. Moral victories was an excellent point. I cannot agree more.
Okay, yeah, turn off the music.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mr. Stiles. I heard you say dreaming come out your mouth.
I hear you. Chew Saturn is beaming as well. So, pretty split. And I think that makes sense on a night like last night.
Sure. Yeah.
I think a lot of people you wanted to get it.
Yeah.
You could taste
but
it.
That's the thing is like if the Warriors scored 2 less points, everybody's beaming today.
At Golden 1, they had their hand on the beam. They were ready to press it.
Yeah, how does that go?
They were ready to press it.
Almost like the NBA, like when the Ray Allen shot happened, how they had to clear out the Spurs locker room. I want to see like a live footage of whoever lights the beam. Like how ready do they have to be?
Yeah.
Do they just have to be on standby at the end of every game? Is it one person just sitting on the roof of Golden One Center?
Yeah.
Who's just sitting there watching the game on their phone and being like waiting
like
for
that
a call?
Drake album cover?
Yes.
They're just sitting.
Yeah. Just sitting with their hand above the beam.
Yep. Waiting for that Matt Barnes call to say light the beam.
Light the beam, and it did not happen, but and I think more people seem to still be beaming. Is pretty even. I think more people seem to be dreaming, it feels like, but I understand this is a results-based business.
For sure.
The moral victory thing will be tough, even though Chris did a great job. Chris is also a salesperson in his other time. I'd let you sell me a car or a house. After that,
man.
After that, you never know. Got to double
twice.
up sometimes in this economy.
It's
All right.
an A++ day for Chris.
Yeah, Chris is on fire. Chris on fire, and I thought I was going to come in and I was going to shut things down.
I did too.
And Chris Chris said, you know what? I got something for you. This is my city.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my city. I'm from the toe before you ever know that I'm from the toe. But we got to get to a break.
Please,
when we get back, when we get back, we'll hear from Draymond and his lack of self-awareness because it's just funny to me. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox. A breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Now listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and myself the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Get your vehicle ready for the holiday driving season at Jiffy Lube today. Oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. For more information, go to jiffylube.com.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
It's the model year-end sales event at Acura of Stockton. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Lease a new Acura RDX or MDX. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton or AcuraofStockton.com, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles, drugstore insoles, custom insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
I wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. It makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Knee, hip, foot, leg, or back pain? Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter, and these are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings held the Golden State Warriors to a season-low 18 points in the third quarter, while Davion Mitchell broke out with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals, stepping in for De'Aaron Fox. And unfortunately, the Warriors got us again at the end.
On a double-team blitz, finds Draymond Green. Nivitz throws to Thompson. Thompson rocks, fires, 18-footer. Score the basket! 0.2 of a second to go.
The Kings' next game is going to be Saturday against the Houston Rockets at 5 p.m. You can check that out here on Sactown Sports. The Texas Rangers are World Series champions after winning Game 5 versus Arizona. Corey Seager won his second World Series MVP with his second team, winning in 2020 with the Dodgers and now 2023 with the Rangers. We have Thursday Night Football tonight. The Titans take on the Steelers. Coverage on Sactown Sports is going to kick off at 4:30 with the pregame show. Those are your headlines. Let's return to more of Stiles and Watkins.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
We are back, Sactown Sports. Stiles and Watkins taking you up to 2 p.m. Just had our Beamin' or Dreamin' segment, which was, probably one of the most confusing ones we've had so far. I mean, I'm trying to do different things. Well, they're beaming against the Kings, and they're dreaming if they're or against the Warriors, and they're dreaming if not. So, at the end of the day, great effort by the Kings. They're moving in the right direction. It's still early. They're still a young team. They only went to, they broke the curse last season in getting to the playoffs. So a lot of things to be happy about. And we are happy about Kevin Dana, who will be on with us at 12:45, Santa Cruz Warriors play-by-play guy, and also Golden State Warriors roundtable host. So Kevin's got a lot going for him as well. You may have heard him doing different NBA games and all that jazz. Going to get into this Draymond sound right here, but wanted to read some of your chats and texts. You have from CJ Lang 96. All I saw was bad shooting from Keegan, our bench waiting to be used, and nobody knowing how to move without the ball or move off the ball. Just sleepers. Manny Too Legit chimes in. Wish Sasha was making his shots. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's something we don't talk about because the offense is always so good. When it does get stuck in the mud, I think it's just normally De'Aaron time.
Yeah.
So you're watching, and it stinks because you're watching it against a team like the Warriors, where everybody's back cutting.
Yep.
Draymond's back cutting. GP2's back cutting.
Gosh.
I mean, everybody usually is getting a part of the action because of that offense and how it flows. So Mike Brown being somebody who came from there, they don't really run similar offenses at all. I mean, the crux of it is similar, but they don't run as many back cuts, and they keep moving around for sure, and they're getting open threes, but not a lot of back cuts and things like that. So that's a great call by CJ. I don't think that you necessarily change anything because last season you were the best rated offense in the history of the NBA, but yeah, sometimes it can look around and you're thinking where this offense is going to come from. But when your guys that are supposed to hit shots don't hit shots, it makes things a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
916, how come nobody's mentioned the 5 free throws DeMontis has missed? Kings could have won the game. We've definitely been chatting about it, 916. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, that's a big one. I mean, if he hits those shots, and we hate to simplify it that much, but sometimes it is that simple. Because this has been a thing for Domas as well. Kyle,
and for this team in general. If I'm not mistaken,
it's bad.
I'm going to check it back right now, but I remember, again, after doing the Sactown Sports Kings postgame show after every game, I believe that Laker game, there was a similar situation where they lose by, or I'm sorry, not the Laker game. I think it was the first Warrior game, where they lose by 9 points or whatever, and then you look at the free throws missed, and De'Aaron misses 4 or something like that, and Domas misses 2, and it just kind of becomes that simple of just making the free opportunities. It ends up killing you, and those guys like De'Aaron definitely knows. He's been throughout his career. He's been elevating his free throw percentage. He knows how important that is, and Domantas Sabonis, it might get to that point where he's might be treated like a guy like Shaq or like Ben Wallace back in the day, where
unintentionally,
in the fourth quarter, you might have to make a decision on some possessions. You might have to take him off the floor if he's going to continue to miss big free throws like he did yesterday. I know he made 2 after missing 2, but that back-to-back missed free throws, that's a killer. That's just a momentum killer, and you can't have those swings in momentum when you're playing a team like the Warriors, especially.
We have some homework that we're going to do, but we ain't too proud to beg. If somebody gets to it before us, we will welcome it. I want to know the NBA champion that had the lowest free throw percentage on the season, including the playoffs.
That's interesting.
The lowest free throw percentage, because I can't imagine it being under 80.
No, I can't. No, there's no way. Especially as a team, like you just have to be able to take. You have to be able to take advantage of those things. Like, getting to the line there's a reason they call them free throws. Like it's the easiest shot you could take. It's for NBA guys, that should be no problem. And the Kings they've struggled all season long, and they struggled last year too, to just make free throws. Even Kevin Huerter, somebody you would expect to be good at free throws. I think Kevin Huerter shot 70% from the free throw line.
That makes no sense.
It doesn't. It makes no sense at all.
The only way I could see it being under 80 is if it's a champion from the 80s, where they're just beating each other up and nobody's making baskets anyway. Continue to go through the text here from the 916. Kyle, this one's for you, and I thought about this as well. Instead of the lullaby for Dreamin' of You by Selena. That is a great call by the 916 and a great song.
That's what Simone did for us.
Yes, I think that is what Simone did. Yeah. So maybe we could switch that one in.
Simone's a little more cultured than me. I don't know if
true.
I know that
Well,
song.
yeah, I mean, why would you even know that? You were born 2 days ago.
Right.
Yeah, I know. It's a little before my time.
That's true. We'll get you all up to speed.
So I
Oh,
believe,
for sure.
by the way, I'm looking at this NBA champions with the lowest free throw percentage. I believe I found it, and of course, it's our most hated team. The 2000-2001 Los Angeles Lakers shot 68.3%. I'm sorry, 68.9% from the free throw.
Well, they had Shaq.
There you go. 68.3%. And yes, they did. That's a great point. They had Shaquille O'Neal, who was probably taking somewhere near 20 free throws per
Right,
game
and
that
just
year.
tanking that percentage.
Absolutely.
Going year by year, since 2011, I don't think a team has shot below 75% and won
Since
the championship.
2011?
Since 2011.
75 is
Wow.
pretty low, though, is it not?
I mean, for a team, though.
So the lowest I've found so far is surprisingly the 2015 Warriors, and that was 75.8%.
Interesting.
So the Kings are shooting 75% right now, and they're 18th in the NBA. So that's about league average.
Okay.
If you're or league median, I guess. you could say.
Sure. Okay, so it's not an issue until it's an issue.
Yeah. I mean, 75% feels like it'll probably go down. I mean, it just feels like especially, I mean, like you said, Shaq is kind of anchoring in a bad way. He's anchoring that Lakers number.
Right.
De'Aaron Fox and Domas are the two guys who are going to get to the line
just
significantly more than
happen.
anybody else. And both of those guys have struggled from the line, to say the least. De'Aaron got it all the way up to, I think, 78% last year. So if he can continue to get that thing up to like 80, that'd be great. But Sabonis, I mean, what we've seen so far this season is
So there's an
bad at the
interesting
line.
outlier in this list. So the 2020 Lakers as a team shot 73% from the free throw line, which is 28th in the league.
Ugh.
However, in the bubble, they shot 81% from the free throw line. That's an interesting outlier.
Wait, what was the first one they
So
did?
73.6, which was 28th in the league that year. But in the bubble, they were an 81% free throw shooting team.
More proof that the bubble is a bubble
Stop
ring.
it. Stop it.
There's a bubble ring.
Maybe during summer sometime we can debate that bubble title, but I'm telling
it's
you,
a Mickey Mouse ring.
No, that's ridiculous. I hate it when people say that. I obviously do not like the Lakers.
Right.
And I think it's ridiculous to say that title didn't matter.
Also, the Giannis Milwaukee team that won, 75% at the line.
Giannis.
Yeah,
Giannis
and
out
is
here
bringing that
bricking.
thing down. But also, when Giannis made his free throws, that's when Milwaukee was significantly better. I mean, yeah, remember everybody counting down Giannis's free throw clock?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he knocked down free throws and they won the championship. I don't think that's a coincidence.
916. The Kings were 0-4 to start last season. I'll take 2-2 after some tough teams and no Fox.
Yeah.
Go Kings. That's a great one.
Yeah, absolutely.
That might be text of the day. Thank you, 916. I mean, if you put it in perspective like that,
yeah,
you can still get going. You got a favorable schedule.
Season hasn't even really started yet.
Right.
That's really what that's saying.
925, 2015 Warriors. Iguodala missed 9 straight free throws, and the Cavs started intentionally fouling him in Game 6.
Right.
And
I forgot
Kerr
about that.
had to bench him the last 6 minutes.
Great memory.
MVP, my blank. Hey, I hear you.
That MVP was more LeBron. It was really just, hey, you guarded LeBron for 7 games. Here's a Finals MVP trophy for you.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good stuff right there. And now let's get to something that is just cracking me up here or should we do it after break?
Let's
Kyle?
do it after the break.
Let's do it after
there's a lot
Kevin
of meat
Dana.
on the bone.
Okay. Yeah. We got Kevin Dana at 12:45. There you go. We're still teasing out here. 1:00. We will talk Draymond after we talk to Kevin Dana, Santa Cruz Warriors play-by-play guy, also host of the Warriors Roundtable. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss what we have to say about Draymond. And that's what happens when the text line gets popping the way it is, because we are a show of the people.
Yes, sir.
And we want you to be a part of the show and continue to be a part of the show. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
iPhone 15 Pro on Verizon.
This holiday, trade in any iPhone in any condition for the new iPhone 15 Pro with titanium, Apple TV 4K, and 6 months of Apple One. All on us with Unlimited Ultimate. Go to your local Verizon store now. 6 months of Apple One, then $10 per month. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on Unlimited Ultimate plan required. Less $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Apple TV 4K and Apple One offers require eligible phone purchase with activation on Unlimited Ultimate. Additional terms and conditions apply. Visit Verizon.com for details.
Protect your engine better with Syntec Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil, only at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec High Mileage is formulated for today's engines with over 75,000 miles. Now get 5 quarts of Syntec High Mileage and a MicroGuard Select oil filter for just $34.99. Limit supply. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-330-2929. That's 800-330-2929. 800-330-2929.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
A psoriasis flare-up can make a walk in the park, well, no walk in the park.
It's that obvious, huh? I've tried so many lotions and creams, but I still have symptoms.
So those don't do enough to treat the inflammation beneath the skin, leaving you with those uncontrolled symptoms.
Makes sense, but what else can I do?
You can get real with your dermatologist so they can help you get clear. Make an appointment and, oh, you're already on it.
Hi, yes, I'd like to make an appointment.
Get real clear about psoriasis at letsgetrealclear.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Nothing slows my little girl down, except a stuffy nose. Mommy. That's why I use Sinex Children's Saline from Vicks. Sinex instantly clears mucus in everyday stuffy little noses with a gentle, ultra-fine mist designed for kids. Just Sinex? Breathe. Her stuffy nose is gone for now. And so is she.
Sinex Children's Saline. Sinex, breathe. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports' IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com and sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's film at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Sactown Sports.
We are back. Sactown Sports, Stiles and Watkins taking you up to 2 p.m. And we are joined by my guy, one of the best in the biz, play-by-play for the Santa Cruz Warriors, host of Warriors Roundtable on 95.7 The Game, Kevin Dana. Also, Stanford women's basketball play-by-play as well. Kevin Dana, thank you for joining us. How are you doing, my friend?
Well, I am doing great, Alan. It is great to talk to my favorite Sacramento transplant. You know, Alan, I see you with the Jimmer Fredette and the Scallop BCA jerseys. All we need you to do is to turn in your E40 and Too Short mixtapes for some Mozzie and some Brother Lynch Hung, and the 916 makeover will be complete.
Wow, well done.
What an intro.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Better than that. Kevin, Alan was telling me yesterday that you were doing the Stanford women's game, and so I checked your Twitter account earlier today, and the last tweet that you have up is Stanford is up 109-27 with a minute and 26 left to go in the third quarter. What happened yesterday? What was that about, and what's it like to kind of call a game as one-sided as what it was yesterday?
Yeah, so it was an exhibition game. They were playing Dominican, a Division II school from San Rafael. I believe the home of Warriors assistant coach Chris DeMarco. I believe he played at Dominican. So you knew it was going to be a one-sided affair. For me, I was excited just to see the 3 new freshmen that Stanford had. They were really fun to watch. Nunu Aguirre, Chloe Clardy, and Courtney Ogden. So it was my first look at that at this year's team. So that kept me entertained throughout the game. And, just to see some other players who aren't going to play, the 15 minutes that maybe they play against a D2 school when, UCLA and Utah and USC come to town.
Right. So, Kevin, and we're talking to Kevin Dana, play-by-play for the Santa Cruz Warriors, host of the Warriors Roundtable on 95.7 The Game. We're talking to Kevin Dana. And, Kevin, so you do the play-by-play, and then you fire up the game. You watched the game last night. What were your takeaways from the Kings and Warriors? Just another great matchup. Whenever these guys match up, their fireworks. What were your initial takeaways?
Watching the game, it felt like a loss to me for Golden State the entire way through. I mean, when you see Stephen Curry booting it all over the court like he did for the 7 turnovers in that game, you see, Mike Brown always has a good game plan for Stephen Curry. Even if he had 91 points in his last 2 games at Golden One Center, Mike Brown knows how to defend Stephen Curry. He is a defensive guru, and so he's going to make him work for his points. And that was certainly the case. I mean, they couldn't hold on to the basketball. And it just had this feeling, it's like, all right, potential trap game, right? They arrived home 3:30 a.m. from New Orleans Tuesday morning. You see Sacramento doesn't have De'Aaron Fox, and there's a part of your brain that says, well, this is a dub. We beat this team without De'Aaron Fox. We'll handle them, transitive property a lot easier. But, Davion Mitchell gets going from deep. He hits that. And then, especially when Domantas Sabonis banks in that shot to give them the lead late, you're like, all right, this really isn't Golden State tonight. But I think this is a game that, Alan, if you can remember back to when you were a Balian all the way back in, spring of 2023, that this was a game that they would have lost last year, I think, without a doubt, because the vibes, quote unquote, aren't as immaculate or weren't as immaculate as they are this year. Marcus Thompson wrote in The Athletic that this was a win for the culture of the Golden State Warriors, and it really did, have kind of ooze that kind of victory last night, because this wasn't one I thought they should have won.
Kevin, what have you thought about the CP3 edition so far for Golden State? A big thing of last year for the Warriors was being able to try and stay afloat in those non-Steph Curry minutes, and it feels like that's really where CP3 has made his biggest impact. But what have you seen from him this year, and what do you expect to see from him as this year kind of goes along?
Well, Watkins, I love Chris Paul with this team. I mean, you talk about the non-Steph minutes, how they've been a bugaboo for Golden State. Well, Exhibit A last night, on the other side of the coin, Steph was a -6 in a game they won by 1. I mean, how many times is Steph going to, in previous last couple of seasons, was Steph going to be a -6 and Golden State wins that game? Like that did not happen a lot. So just to have Chris Paul out there, and yeah, he only got 1 bucket in that game, but 8 assists, no turnovers. And that's the big thing. I think that brings his total on the season to like 39 assists and 5 turnovers. So close to 8-to-1 assist to turnover ratio or somewhere around there. I mean, it's just, and I love Jordan Poole. I loved watching him. I think you need a guy who is a firecracker like that on your team, who can shoot you in or out of a game, and sometimes you just got to live with it. But it has been just a completely different feel with Chris Paul on the bench, and how things have steadied nicely for this team. Yes, 18 turnovers last night, but that has been an aberration out of the small sample size of this season thus far.
We're talking to Kevin Dana, play-by-play for the Santa Cruz Warriors, host of the Warriors Roundtable on 95.7 The Game. And that's, Kevin, we have a segment we just did called Beamin' or Dreamin', where we discuss whether we're high on the Kings or not. And it's been the most difficult one yet, because we're trying to figure out, as Chris discussed, moral victories. And when you lay it out the way you laid it out about the Warriors being tired and they're kicking the ball around like they're Pele all over the basketball court, should the Kings and Kings fans feel good about this game or not?
I would 100% feel good about this game if I was a Sacramento Kings fan. You almost beat them without De'Aaron Fox on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this team's winning mid to high 40s, maybe low 50s in my book. Like, all right, they're 2-2. Very small sample size. They have a couple of nice wins. I mean, blowing out Utah on the road, who, could be a decent team this year. They were very competitive all last season, beating the Lakers at home. And then their only two losses are to the Golden State Warriors. I mean, Domantas Sabonis, yeah, he left some points. If Domantas Sabonis is a little bit better at the free throw line, maybe that game's different. I mean, he was really good. I mean, Davion Mitchell, if he can be a consistent three-point shooter, that makes him that much more dangerous. They were talking on the Golden State broadcast how he worked out with Brandon Payne, Stephen Curry's trainer and shooting coach over the offseason. I love the team they have together. I love Keegan Murray. Harrison Barnes is very reliable. Malik Monk off the bench is great. I like Sasha Vezenkov, a EuroLeague MVP. So I just really like this team a lot. I still like. I don't think they're going to be the 3 seed, but they were 48-34 as a 3 seed last year. Like, that's kind of an aberration for a record for a 3 seed. I think they're going to be around 48 wins at least, and I would not be shocked if they got to the second round of the playoffs this year at all.
Kevin, I know, being the voice of the Santa Cruz Warriors, you got to watch a lot of Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody throughout the years. What have you kind of thought about where they're at in their development right now? Because it feels like this is the first opening to the season in which they're really a part of the rotation. And in the 2 games against the Kings so far this year, Moody had a really good game last Friday, and then Kuminga was able to put up 12 points yesterday. What have you kind of thought about their development and where they're at right now for this Warriors team?
Yeah, I'll start with Kuminga, and it just looks like he's processing the game a lot better, that he's making a lot better decisions on the court. So many times it felt like early last season, I thought he did a much better job of this as the season went on. And maybe this was because he was sharing a little more playing time with like the likes of an Anthony Lamb, Michael Green off the bench last year. But like sometimes he would just get it and go in not the best situations to get it and go. It just felt like sometimes he was looking for his offense a little too much. He's like, I got to make something happen while I'm on the court. I got to make something happen while I'm on the court. He's trusting the process, to borrow a Sam Hinkie Philadelphia 76ers phrase, a little bit more this year, and trusting that either he's going to get it back or he's making the right basketball play by passing the ball up. And he is, he has raised his scoring average this year. He was rebounding the ball better in his first 3 games. That's the big thing with Kuminga, with the coaches. I mean, he's been around 3 rebounds per game each of his first 2 years. He's up to 4.3. Going to last night, he gets 1 rebound, so that average will go down. But, I mean, the athleticism Kuminga has, this guy, when he starts playing starters minutes, whenever that is, he's going to be a starter in the NBA. I think it's clear that he has that kind of talent. He should be getting 7 to 8 rebounds per game. So, he shot it great in the preseason. He scored it great in the preseason. He's averaging double figures. So I really like what I've seen with him. And Moses Moody, I mean, just kind of the steady Eddie of this team. He didn't have a big scoring game last night, but made one of the biggest defensive plays. That big block late on a layup in the fourth quarter. So even if he doesn't contribute offensively, just 1 point last night, you can count on him to make the intangible plays. And last night, his 0 for 3 was an aberration for what he's done recently. I mean, he had a stretch going back to last season where he was like 55% from downtown over X number of games. Like, he's got a wetter. He can really shoot it. And, it didn't happen last night, but hey, on a larger sample size, I'm going to trust Moses Moody hitting threes.
Kevin, got to get you out of here talking to Kevin Dana, play-by-play for the Santa Cruz Warriors, host of the Warriors Roundtable on 95.7 The Game. Before we let you go, Smokey had control over Debo, mind control over Debo. Do the Warriors have mind control over the Kings?
I mean, it kind of feels like it right now, especially with a game like last night where, all right, it felt like a Warriors loss. For them to pull that one out, especially after that Sabonis bang shot, Clay to hit that shot on a night where he wasn't really shooting it that well, and he was contested in front and behind and still buried it. It kind of feels like it, but I mean, Sacramento's getting at least one of the next 2 from Golden State. I don't think I don't think Sacramento has enough to at least go 1-3 against Golden State in the regular season. I mean, in the playoffs again, we'll see. I mean, I would like Golden State's chances in that series, but obviously I have blue and yellow colored glasses on.
That's right. All right, that's Kevin Dana. Kevin, thank you as always. And look, next time you're in Sacramento, next time you're in my city, you can come out here and we will enjoy ourselves. I'll show you the town. Don't worry about it, man. Thanks for checking in.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Anytime.
Kevin Dana, play-by-play for the Santa Cruz Warriors, also host of the Warriors Roundtable. Great stuff from Kevin Dana. Thanks again, and we will be right back talking Draymond and his lack of self-awareness. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Got a drain that's clogged up? Or maybe a toilet? Or a faucet that just won't quit leaking? Kenny and Jerry are here from Bell Brothers, and we want you to know that it does make a difference which plumber you call.
At Bell Brothers, we respect your time by showing up when we say we'll be there. Our technicians are all background checked and drug tested, and will greet you with a smile.
They're trained to do the job right the first time, and they carry over 1,000 parts on their trucks, so they won't have to order something and then come back later.
They leave the work area cleaner than they found it, and your final bill will be the same as they quoted. That's why they call us the No Surprise Guys.
So if you need a plumber, it does make a difference who you call. Call Bell Brothers. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Yep, that trailer hitch and folding bed cover from Truck Smart makes road trips a breeze.
Right? I'm so much more organized on the job site since Truck Smart installed my truck rack and toolbox.
And they had it all in stock, so I just waited as they installed everything.
Take a look at this sweet Rhino truck lining. They sprayed it on.
Yeah, you win. That is sweet.
Truck Smart, truck and SUV accessories for on the road and the job site. Stop by one of our 2 locations in Rockland or Auburn. TruckSmart.com. Your truck's gonna love them.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location, is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region, and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out, Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Oakland A's every weekend.
And it's swung on line to left center, base hit, and the A's have won it on a walk-off line drive, base hit to left center.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines. Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter. These are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings held the Golden State Warriors to a season-low 18 points in the third quarter yesterday. Davion Mitchell broke out with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals, starting for the injured De'Aaron Fox. But unfortunately, the Warriors got the Kings again.
On a double-team blitz, finds Draymond Green, pivots, throws to Thompson. Thompson rocks, fires, 18-footer, score the basket! 0.2 of a second to go.
And the Kings will play next on Saturday against the Houston Rockets right here on Sactown Sports. In baseball, the Texas Rangers are World Series champs after winning Game 5 last night in Arizona. Corey Seager won his second World Series MVP with his second team. winning the 2020 at World Series MVP with the Dodgers, and now in 2023 with the Rangers. Football tonight is the Tennessee Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you want to watch that game, it'll be on Amazon. If you want to listen, coverage begins at 4:30 right here on Sactown Sports 1140, the Sactown Sports app, and SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Reminder, all guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Now let's return for the final hour of Stiles and Watkins.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team, Sactown Sports.
We're back. Sactown Sports, Stiles and Watkins flying through this show. One more hour to go. We will be joined by the Drive guys at 1:45, as always, for a little bit of cross talk, breaking down all things Kings, Warriors, and a little bit of Debo news as we discussed. We'll get into that at 1:30. Debo says he's ready to go, according to himself, on Up and Adams. That was today. And
Good
with
source.
that bye week, and look, I made a joke with Kevin Dana. Thank you again to Kevin Dana, our guest, play-by-play for the Santa Cruz Warriors, about the Warriors having mind control over the Kings like Smokey had mind control over Debo. And Debo being ready to go is great because a lot of people, I'm not going to say who, said, hey, we can't pay Ayuk and Debo next season. Debo, we're good over here.
He's expendable, right?
We're good over here. So let's see what you have to say now after 3 L's and that offense that was averaging 30 points, now not being able to eclipse 17. So we will get into that even more at 1:30. A little bit of World Series and Giants talk coming up at 1:15 because, yes, I have a bone to pick with some Giants fans. But it's time to get to the man, the myth, the legend. I know he is a true hero in these parts, and I know you just love him out here. Draymond Green.
Oh, not who I thought.
Draymond Green. I don't know why you would think that based on my description. Draymond Green had some things to say when he was asked about how the team is rolling. What are they, 4-1 or something like that? Team is rolling this year. The vibes are vibing. Everybody's feeling good. So Draymond was asked about the difference in chemistry between this year and last year. Let's hear what he had to say.
Last year we had an awful team as far as chemistry goes. It was pathetic. But chemistry has been a strong suit here. That's why Steph has been here for 15 years. Clay's been here for 13. I've been here for 12, and Luna's been here for 9. Because chemistry is a strong suit in Andre Iguodala. The list goes on and on. That's why so many guys have been around here for so long, because the chemistry is what we've hung our hat on. Oh, yeah, no, it's all good. Last year was horse. It's hard to come to work. Y'all see me trying to do Clay's little paper airplane. It was hard. It was hard to come to work. Not fun, And so this year you see the joy on guys' face when they come in the building.
Well, Draymond, I can imagine it'd be hard to come into work every day when, you were abused and you're punched in the Oh wait, no, that wasn't Draymond that got hit in the face at work, right?
Yeah.
That was him that did the hitting.
Did the punching.
Right. So
a video that we then all saw get leaked out, right before.
We still don't know who leaked it.
We still don't know.
And I honestly think it's got to be a bit. I don't know, man. Like you said
earlier, no accountability, no
just
Derek
zero.
Carr level of accountability.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Maybe because you could have had a pending assault charge, Draymond. Who
are you talking about, the stomp or the punch?
Yeah, I mean all the ways. Hayukin. I mean, he's doing it all, man. I don't understand how you say that with a straight face.
That's crazy.
I don't get it.
A problem that you brought on.
There was a report that Jordan Poole's camp, so Draymond did the whole TNT special.
Yes.
Right after
opening
the punch,
game,
with the background and everything, but he refused to take Jordan Poole, and Steve Kerr asked him to, and they all asked him to. He refused to take Jordan Poole out and personally squash the beef. He never did it.
Yeah.
That came out a couple weeks ago. So Draymond has been, if anything, I would applaud him just being shameless and just feeling like he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Right? That's where he's at. And it was just tough to come to work. There was no chemistry.
You know how hard it is coming to work when you hate everyone?
Right. You know how hard it is to come to work when people think that they might be the next person to get punched in the face?
God, all these annoying kids.
Yeah.
Every time I walk by somebody, they always cower. It's like, why? I don't get it. It's like you're making my experience bad.
Where is the chemistry? I don't understand. Yeah. So, I mean, look, that's what happens when you are a 4-time champ and you have the cover of Steph Curry, who Steph said we're a package deal. He said that a couple summers ago with himself and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson, and it was probably an easy decision on the Warriors' part, and they're going to sit there and say all the right things, but I can't believe Draymond fixed his mouth to say those words when we all know what we all saw, what happened. And look, we spent so much time in the Bay Area talking about, well, what did Jordan Poole say? And the whole part of well, this happens all the time.
It does not.
This happens all the time in basketball. Well, where are the videos of that?
It does not happen all the time.
It was so crazy to me when people were saying that. Oh, this all.
Oh, Michael Jordan punched Steve Kerr in the face.
Right.
And they won a championship.
And why are we talking about that? Because it's the only other time we've heard about it.
Literally the only.
From the dude who stopped playing basketball after high school. Oh, this happens all the time in the NBA. Really?
I can think of 4 times. And there was the Bobby Portis Mirotic thing, and that's it.
And that was big.
And
Mirotic is no longer in the league.
Choking out the coach or something like
and
that.
Geno Smith over a card game.
There was the Tommy Pham slap. And these are all things that actually showed up, right? Yeah. Everything came out because it doesn't happen all the time.
Right.
Now, on the field, I know Travis Kelce got punched with his helmet on during practice. That's a little bit different. I know this was at practice, but this was a cold clock.
Yeah.
He knocked him out. Now I continue. It's not Friday. It's Friday Eve. I don't know why I keep quoting Friday today.
No,
he got knocked the bleep out. He went down goes Frazier.
Yeah.
Down goes Timmy Anderson. He got knocked out. So I don't know what was said. And I don't know if it matters or not.
It really doesn't.
Either way.
You can't punch a teammate.
You can't punch a teammate.
You definitely can't knock a teammate out.
You can't knock out a teammate, not apologize to his face,
at any
do
point.
a special on TNT, and expect things to be all honky-dory at practice.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, and we can also see what happened. The video's out there.
Yeah.
We can see it.
Man, Superman punched this guy.
He really did. And he sat there, he's just making a paper airplane, which is a terrible paper airplane. I don't know if you saw it compared to Klay, because Klay does it every game.
It hits people in the face.
And Draymond,
he's like hitting back row.
He's just sitting there. Oh man, chemistry was terrible. It's tough to come to work, man. It's just tough to come to work. I couldn't believe that. I could based on his track record,
right?
But it was just incredible to me. Incredible.
Yeah, and still taking no part of the blame at all. Just the last season sucked. We all know why. We don't need to talk about why, but it sucked last year. And I don't even know what to say. Draymond is he's bringing these. He brought all of last year's problems onto himself, and I think I'm shocked, honestly, that the Warriors gave him the contract that they gave him in the offseason.
Really?
Because, like you said, he caused that issue. Like last year is directly correlated to Draymond Green. The struggles that they had on the road was mainly because they weren't a team. On the road, at home, they can galvanize themselves. They have the home crowd environment kind of backing them up. But on the road, they weren't a team. It was 2 separate squads of the OGs. And then, like you pointed out to me yesterday, the young guys. And it really was as cut and dry as old guys versus young guys, where I thought Andrew Wiggins was at least like a nice Switzerland, but you told me yesterday him and JP were boys.
He was, but him and Jordan Poole were really close and probably are still really close, and it rubbed everybody the wrong way, and that's why everything was fractured. And I don't know that it's all fixed. I don't think
so.
I think that it seems like it right now, and winning solves everything.
Yeah.
But give it a little bit. There's too many cooks in that kitchen.
Yeah.
You, Chris Paul and Draymond Green going back and forth. Well, you see a pattern here. Draymond, you got KD out of Dodge. You got Jordan Poole out of Dodge. Do we really expect? Draymond's on record saying, I don't like Chris Paul.
Draymond and Chris Paul are not going to work.
I don't like Chris Paul.
0%
So
chance.
Chris Paul, I hope you're taking sparring lessons. I hope you're working on jujitsu. I hope you are
Him and Tua.
You and Tua just practice your falls. You ain't gonna need the flop.
No,
because you're gonna be on the ground. Mojo 916. Mama said knock you out.
Yeah,
because he did.
Yeah,
that was look, man. You know, a lot of these athletes talking about Debo. He had a video too, boxing and doing different things.
Right.
Chris Paul, just be ready. Just be ready. That's all I gotta say.
just have the gloves in the locker.
Just have
room.
the gloves
you gotta
ready.
have them in the locker.
That's all I gotta say. All right, gotta get to a break. When we get back, I got a bone to pick with Giants fans trying to victory lap about Bruce Bochy winning with the 4th highest payroll in baseball. Congrats to the Texas Rangers. Very happy for them. But Giants fans, you need to chill out. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
The game of football is about pain. Ever since I was 5 years old, it's been all about football. It's been about running, jumping, blocking, tackling. I stopped playing at 31.
You're listening to Michael Robinson, retired pro fullback.
I thought that foot pain was going to be with me for the rest of my life. I'm so glad I met Good Feet. I'm so glad that those arch supports are in my shoes. I have terrible foot issues that prevented me from really having a normal life with my kids. With the Good Feet arch supports, man, I'm always ready. My kids actually got to enjoy me in the yard more, racing each other, backpedaling, teaching them some things, being a dad. If I had known about the Good Feet arch support earlier, I would have more than one championship. I would have 2 championship rings.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
We are back, Sactown Sports. 45 minutes left. One more segment until crosstalk with Whitey and Draper. And you can tell I've started to be here. Stiles and Watkins, by the way. You can tell I've started to be here longer time because Whitey was very excited to see me at first and would pop in. He doesn't pop in anymore. Yeah, this is old news now.
Not a lot, yeah.
Yeah, it's old news now. Actually, 2 more segments before crosstalk. We're going to talk about Debo at 1:30 and whether he's ready to go or not, because I think the Niners really need him. We'll talk a little bit about tonight's game. Is Will Levis, is the Mayo Man that guy? We'll see if you can do it.
Calling him the Mayo Man is great.
I love that.
And for those of you who don't know, Will Levis, the quarterback.
Is there video of this, by the way?
Yes.
Will Levis. Okay, because
and that's when he signed. He signed to whatever mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Kelman's. Yeah, he signed to whatever mayonnaise. So Will Levis, famously or infamously, because that is just a sick thing to do, puts mayonnaise. And I hope you're not eating. I know it's almost lunchtime or past lunchtime. He puts mayonnaise in his coffee as his creamer.
What?
It's sick.
How does one even come to that conclusion? Like, how do you try that for the first time?
I don't know.
That's insane.
It's got to be on accident.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But even then, to try it on accident and then to be like, it's not bad. It's not bad. And I'm going to try it again.
13-year-olds try crazy food concoctions all the time. This 13-year-old boys trying crazy food concoctions.
Do we know he tried it at 13?
No, but I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, he's been doing it for years.
So
that's going off my draft.
Or maybe it's, maybe he is smarter than us and he figured, hey, if I do something wild and just eat it, no pun intended, I'll end up with the lifelong contract to a Mayo company, regardless of whether I'm good or not. So he's going up against the Steelers and what is it? Mike Tomlin and what they have going on with Kenny Two Gloves. So we'll see who's able to figure that one out.
Do we have to watch this?
I mean, I'm going to just to see if Mayo Man can do something.
You can listen right here on Sactown Sports.
That's right.
I don't have to watch,
Man.
but I will listen.
Listen to the Mayo Man. He will let you know. All right. Texas Rangers, they win the World Series.
Oh, speaking of have to watch this, geez.
What, the Texas Rangers?
Just the baseball World Series in general.
No. Don't start with me because
come on.
you liked baseball. You liked baseball until it ended up being these two teams. All right.
Yeah.
You liked baseball until it ended up being these two teams. The Texas Rangers beat the Arizona Diamondbacks, who nobody expected the Diamondbacks to be there. They're definitely ahead of schedule, and that's not good for the Giants. But the Texas Rangers beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 5-0 to win the series 4-1. And I'm happy for them, happy for Bruce Bochy. Here are some of the names of former Bay Area players, whether they played with the A's or the Giants, who got a World Series ring or another World Series ring. You have Bruce Bochy, of course. You have Robbie Grossman, who was on the A's. Yes, okay. Robbie Grossman. I don't know that he got any time, but he's on the roster.
Yeah,
I checked. He's on the roster. Bay Boy, my guy, Cal's finest, Marcus Semien. Very excited for Marcus Semien.
Home run.
Come on.
Multiple home runs. And Marcus Semien is a guy who, look, when he came up and he was working with the A's, they had him at shortstop. He had some problems defensively, but you knew he could swing that thing.
Yeah.
They ended up getting over to second base. He goes to Toronto, I believe, goes Jimmy Jack Johnson crazy, hitting home runs all over the place, signs with the Rangers, and after they make all those signings of him and Seager and Scherzer, who didn't really do anything, but Scherzer was there as well.
Even Eovaldi was great.
Eovaldi was great. Again, another guy who was with the Red Sox, kind of changed his career and formed how he was going to be able to pitch and perform. They figure it out, and I think Bruce Bochy will give him credit for that. So good on them. Good to the Bay Boy. Cal's finest, Marcus Semien. Will Smith, who was a closer, and and not the guy who slapped Chris Rock. The other Will Smith, he was a closer, kind of setup man for the Giants. And Chris Stratton, who was also on the Giants, doing some of their tough years. So good on him. All those guys getting a ring. Congrats to them. Now I got to talk to my Giants fans out there, and not all of you, but the Giants fans out there on both sides, right? And I hate to sound like a politician here, but on both sides, because a lot of you are saying, well, Bruce Bochy, he got forced out, yada, yada, yada. He is a championship coach. How could he be forced out? How could Farhan and the band force him out? Stop it. That side, please stop, all right? Because Bruce Bochy, he had some health issues. It is well documented. He wanted to spend time with family. And look, some people take sabbaticals. And bringing in Farhan, the Giants, did they technically force him out? No. But bringing in Farhan, they made a decision. Bruce Bochy and Farhan would never have worked. He does not want a platoon. Yeah. He is an old guy. He just wants to drink a bud. He gave, just like that old, what was it on Showtime, that Giants special show where he pulls Brandon Belt up to the bigs and Brandon Belt starts crying. He says, do you want a beer or something? That's the type of guy Bruce Bochy is, okay? He's not trying to platoon here and play one guy here.
Openers.
He didn't want to do it. So did they force him out? No, I don't believe so. But did they put him in a position that they knew he would not like? I do believe so. And they stunk. Mm-hmm. But before they left, the Giants stunk. So that side, you need to relax. And the other side of this, the other side that believes that he wasn't forced out, very similar to me. Whether you're right or wrong, I don't know. We'll never know. Apparently, he was asked by Alex Pavlovich, but then you have Brian Sabian, who talked to Larry Krueger, who was on our airwaves earlier this week, saying that he was or he wasn't. We don't know, and just move on. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. The bottom line to me is this. What do you think the Giants' record would be with Bruce Bochy as a coach of this roster?
Not much better.
Unless you think that the Giants
for sure.
would be celebrating a World Series this year, I don't want to hear about it, because none of those rosters win a World Series with Bruce Bochy.
No, not as Jock Peterson is your highest paid.
Come
best
on,
player.
man.
No, that's not happening. I mean, there's no manager in the world that can manage their way through that. I mean, we've seen Bruce Bochy, especially with that Giants team, pull off some miracles. Mm-hmm. That's a whole lot more than a miracle to make this current Giants roster or this past current Giants roster into a championship team. That's insane.
So it's just enough. Enough is enough. You guys are fighting each other. You're in my mentions as well, because I had some things to say. And really, I wasn't, because, my guy Bonte Hill over in the Bay, because he said he was on the side of, and he's doing this while he's doing Warriors postgame, by the way, which is just incredible. He's getting people riled up because he believes that Bochy was pushed out. Yeah. And the gatekeeping that happens with Giants fans, I want to say specifically on Twitter, and I told you before the show, I'm not saying X anymore. Yeah. It's just too hard. I don't feel comfortable.
And we all know what you're saying.
Until somebody tells me otherwise, I'm going to say Twitter. And, I didn't even agree with what Bonte said, but it's the way that Giants fans and baseball fans in general like to gatekeep their sport, and they don't want anybody to talk about their sport unless they're all in. I'm sorry, Mr. Giants fan, for the last 30 years that I don't know every arbitration rule.
Yeah.
Does that mean I can't tell you that I think Mike Yastrzemski's washed? Does that mean that I can't tell you that Austin Slater needs to not get any more at-bats for the Giants? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Stop it. Just stop.
I ain't got nothing to say, man. You're killing it. This is all you. This is your
I've just
segment.
been waiting. I've been waiting for
it.
this because it's the way that they talk to individuals and they like to, they don't know about this. And if you really look at the analytics, and it started with Brandon Belt.
Yep.
That was the first guy.
Brandon Belt's by
if you
far
look
my
at
least
advanced
baseball player,
analytics,
but-
I don't care.
No.
I don't care. And we don't have to agree. But don't tell me that I'm a bad fan or that I can't talk Giants, right? Or I don't quote unquote know ball, because all you do is follow the Giants. You think that you're keeping the sport pure, and all you're doing is holding other people out, and eventually you can have your sport by itself because it's going to drop under NHL. It's going to drop. I hope not. It's going to drop under these other sports if you continue to make people feel stupid for having opinions just because they don't eat, sleep, and breathe baseball. And this is coming from someone that does eat, sleep, and breathe baseball. All right? So be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we're talking Debo, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
How about that?
Will Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers brass go all the way this season?
Could the Niners win their first Super Bowl since 1995?
Join us throughout the season to hear all the games and all the analysis on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Thursday forecast looks mostly sunny with light winds and temperatures this afternoon mild. Plan for highs in the mid-70s with overnight lows in the low 50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Winter's coming, so let's kick off the cold season right and get your heater all tuned up. Now just $79. No matter how cold it gets outside, you'll always be warm and toasty inside. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air, Bonnie.com.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at Fire Wings with some bullet points for you to remember so you can be a professional fire wing eater. Like Wings Day Wednesday, 88-cent wings each and every Wednesday. 3 flavor lineup includes 7 classic wing flavors, 7 dry rub wing flavors, 7 fusion wing flavors. It's the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Go to firewings.com or download the app, find a location near you, order online, earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Hey guys, do you know what makes Revive Men's Health Sacramento different? You. Every Revive treatment and medication is personalized just for you. Revive has the experts that guys go to when their current treatment isn't working. They have a complicated medical condition, or they're just not happy with their daily performance. Since 2011, they've helped thousands of local men suffering with the symptoms of low T and ED. Their goal is simple: to get to the bottom of your issues and fix them. Your best performance requires more than generic ED medications or a low-dose testosterone booster at a low-ball price like you find online. Revive medications are custom compounded, affordable, and guaranteed to resolve your issues. Stop dealing with the symptoms of low T or ED. Book your free T-check and exam and save $199 today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit us at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And if you've even thought of replacing your old, outdated, inefficient windows, now is the time to take action.
Right now at Bell Brothers, when you buy one window, you'll get the second one for 30% off. That's right. Buy one, get the second one 30% off.
That's real savings, up to $6,000. You have to buy at least 4 windows to qualify, and you can't mix windows and doors. But beyond that, every second window is 30% off.
For example, when you buy 10 windows, you will get 5 windows at 30% off. We also have 0% interest financing available for qualified buyers. Call for details.
To take advantage of our buy one, get one 30% off sale, call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
It's time to trade in and trade up at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade. Come in today or go to StocktonHonda.com. It's all a click away.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own loan report.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
Good afternoon, Sacramento. My name is Kyle Ledbetter. These are your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings held the Golden State Warriors to a season-low 18 points in the third quarter. Davion Mitchell broke out with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals, starting for the injured De'Aaron Fox. And then the Golden State Warriors did it to the Kings again.
On a double-team blitz, finds Draymond Green, pivots, throws to Thompson. Thompson rocks, fires, 18-footer, score the basket! 0.2 of a second to go.
The Kings are now 2-2 on the season. They play the Houston Rockets on Saturday here on Sactown Sports. In baseball, the Texas Rangers are World Series champions after winning Game 5 last night against Arizona. Corey Seager won his second World Series MVP with his second team, winning in 2020 with the Dodgers and now in 2023 with the Texas Rangers. In football tonight, we got the Tennessee Titans against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Coverage on Sactown Sports starts at 4:30 p.m. with the pregame show. Those are your headlines. Let's return for the final half hour of Stiles and Watkins.
Your new home for 49ers football in the 916 Sactown Sports.
We are back. One more segment until crosstalk with the Drive Guys, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports. Thanks for letting me get that out, everyone. Chris, thank you. I was just rocking and rolling there. Thank you for just letting me go.
No, thank you for contributing baseball to the show.
I had that in the chamber for a while, and it just really bugs me how certain people, it's not the way certain people, it's not what they say, it's how they say it. And I just don't think it's good for baseball. But hey, do what you want. I can't say to police fandom, not police fandom, and then police fandom myself. So there you have it. One more note on Kyle coming in with Sunflower. That was from Enter the Spider-Verse. I watched Across the Spider-Verse. It's very long. So I on my way back from Philly, I watched the end of it again. It's like 2.5 hours, which I don't think it needed to be that long.
I needed more of it. That was so good.
So I went to the last 30 minutes again when I was finishing the flight. And, you know, the end of that movie, I would put up there, and I think I was already telling you this, Chris, The Dark Knight, Infinity War, and the ending of Across the Spider-Verse was so cold. You got to see it. I know some people are a little hot and cold with the cartoons, and I get you, but trust me, just watch it for the ending. Excellent. It is good stuff. And it is also good stuff that Deebo Samuel, according to himself, is ready to rock and roll. Here he is on the Up and Adams podcast talking about it.
And you personally, health-wise, any update? Everybody wants to know.
I am ready to go.
Yay!
Look at that.
There you go.
That's it. It's as simple as
Straight
that.
up. Travis Scott, who was in the Bay Area
exactly.
yesterday as
Oh, my
well.
gosh.
And, Debo being out there, there's been a lot of talk about Debo. And I think a lot of Niner fans soured on Debo with the whole holdout and trade request and going to the club and the sparkler waitresses coming up with the Debo or stay in SF, and Debo went like this, no, I'm not doing it. And cleaning out surprisingly for people that say that social media means so little, the number one thing I see when people complain about Debo and the trade request was the fact that he cleared his socials of 49er stuff, which is incredible to me. It really bothered you that much?
Yeah.
But they're the same people that say social media doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I personally, I think that I always think that that's a funny statement when guys do that. Like when Tyler Hero did it this offseason, takes Miami Heat guard.
I think
out of
Kyler Murray did it as well. Yeah.
I think the reason why it resonates so much with fans is because it's like you're truly trying to erase history. Like you're trying to literally act as if this team just was not a part of your life at all. But I mean, I'm not going to say I wouldn't. Like if De'Aaron Fox did that tonight,
you'd be salty.
I'm not going to lie. I would probably come in tomorrow and be like, what is going on?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is funny because
it's
in
just
the long run, it's
gamesmanship.
really nothing. Yeah, it's nothing. Tyler Hero is still a Miami Heat player. Like, and he's playing great for them. So clearly it means nothing, actually.
No, it's just something. It's just a
message that can be sent.
It's a message. I don't know if it's a marketing tool. It's just, hey, don't forget.
Yep.
I could erase you, even though I'm under contract. And there's nothing I can actually
Shout out
do.
James Harden.
Unless my name's James Harden, then I rip it up and I do what I want.
And get anywhere I want to go.
Anywhere.
4 times.
Wherever I ask.
Anywhere. It does not matter. So Debo being ready to go, I think that is exactly what the doctor ordered for the Niners. So now you're talking about Marvel and Across the Spider-Verse and Infinity War. Now you talk about Thanos and the Gauntlet.
Yep.
Now you got Chase Young joining. You have Debo returning, right? You have a 2-week rest or a week rest for Brock Purdy
and McCaffrey,
who is still dealing with, and Trent Williams, who they've all been dealing with injuries, some playing, some not. And I say all this to say, the Niners better beat the Jaguars, or it's going to be doomsday if you are a Niner fan, because the memes that people are making up for Nick Bosa and Chase Young for opposing quarterbacks, they're hilarious. And you put all that together and you just got to think, okay, if the Niners, that would be 4 in a row. I just cannot imagine. And a lot of people, there's actually a conversation now, because we just keep doing this, throwing Brock Purdy against other people. Now there's a conversation between Brock Purdy and Trevor Lawrence. That's the new one.
My goodness. So it moved from Justin Herbert to now Trevor Lawrence.
That's right.
Okay. I don't know if that's moving up or if that's
I don't know either.
That's a lateral move.
I think it's down, but people are really high on Trevor Lawrence right now. So I have no clue.
I definitely think that you're right. Like the Niners do. It's not a must win, but it is definitely questions are going to resurface, and all the good feelings and all the goodwill that you've now built up is all going to be crashed back down to earth, essentially, if they lose, because you mentioned they get a week of rest. They're also coming off of a bye week. And so, there's always all those stats about how, Andy Reid never loses after bye weeks, just because that's supposed to be when your coaches have extra time to game plan for that one specific game. And the other team isn't supposed to have that extra time as well. So, I mean, the Niners really have everything except for the fact I don't believe that's going to be a home game. I believe they're traveling to Jacksonville. But besides that, everything's really working in their favor, and it's a perfect opportunity for them to make a statement, because Jacksonville is also one of those teams where they're good. They're a good AFC team, but they're also in the AFC South, which is a pretty bad division. How good really are they? Like they're not when we're talking about the Chiefs or the Bills, or they're not in that tier of teams. So I think it's almost a perfect test for this Niners team to go out after a bye and really make a statement. Like it doesn't have to be, it's not like they're playing another Cowboys week or something like that, where this is a really good team. The Jaguars are incredibly hot right now, but it's not quite the same statement to make, but it's a really good testing point.
I would say it's pretty high up there.
It's up there with how they've been playing.
So I have a stat for you, And I want to get your thoughts, and I want to get your thoughts as well. 916-339-1140. Call line, text line, and of course, our lovely people on the YouTube chat. We got to make up a name for them. We'll think about that. That's what's up next. We got to make up a name for y'all because Kyle Shanahan, when trailing by 3 or more points, is 1-31.
I'm sorry?
He's 1-31.
When what happens?
When trailing by 3 or more
That's not many points
in the fourth quarter.
That's not many points.
Kyle Shanahan is 0-37 when trailing by 8 or more points in the fourth quarter.
That's not a Brock Purdy stat.
No, it's not a Brock Purdy stat.
So that is, wow. That's incredible. That is way too big of a sample size to not mean something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Kyle Shanahan is elite at getting a lead and sitting on it.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean that's been something that's been attributed to this Niner team in general too. And I wonder if that really is just kind of a staple of Kyle Shanahan. Like, is that stat tells me that this team is the ultimate front runner.
Yeah.
And like
that's
they
what
just
it seems like.
They just don't know, and it might be a combination of both. Brock doesn't know, and apparently Kyle doesn't know either, but they just don't know how to play when they're behind. When they're leading, it's easy. You can run the ball a ton. You can then use the play action. And when you have a guy like Christian McCaffrey, the defense is always going to get sucked into that play action. But when they're up and you almost are forced to pass and you don't, some of your misdirection isn't working the same because teams are just playing more conservative.
Yeah.
It's that number sounds to me like they just don't have it in there. Kyle specifically doesn't have it in his playbook on how to come back from even the slightest bit of adversity. You said 3 points?
3.
Come on.
When
That's
entering
nothing.
the fourth quarter.
That's
1-31. The 0-37 one in the fourth quarter, okay.
That's crazy.
1-31 when trailing by 3 or more points entering the fourth quarter. That's insane.
That's like a Lions stat. That's a Browns stat. Like, that's supposed to be saved for teams that are historically terrible. 0-38?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I can't even believe he's been coaching that long to have that kind of number.
Yeah.
How do you not luck into that? That's incredible.
It's not good.
What does that tell you? I mean, like, are you reading the same thing out of that? Is that just front runner energy?
So, I mean, that's what it sounds like, or that's what it feels like to me. And that is from,
I was going to say, where's that number?
Yeah, that is from 49ers Sports Talk. And then it was kind of quote tweeted, added on from Chase Sr., who we hope to have on the show very soon here. He is an NFL and NBA analyst for Chat Sports. He also went to Temple as well, so he's my guy.
Oh,
We'll definitely try to have him on. No, but Chase goes on to say that this is what happens when you don't have an elite quarterback. That was Chase's take on it.
Sure, but even then, like, come on, like, you can slip into like 5 of those wins.
You would think.
That's crazy. The 0-for and the 1-for that's like you're actively doing things that are putting you in bad situations.
Mm-hmm.
That's not, because especially in football, there's so many random things that can happen. And again, you said 3 points. You're not saying double digits, like coming back and really facing adversity and coming out on the other end. You're saying you're down by a field goal entering the last quarter. That's not insurmountable at all. I mean, the fact that number exists is just, I don't even know what to do with that. That's insane. That feels fake. It feels like something that I would have to triple check, but it's I mean, that is ridiculous.
So people are kind of coming down Chase's road saying that, and I don't know which one this is.
I wouldn't say that that's on.
Well, for context, basically McVay, and I don't know if this person is referring to the more than 3 points or the 8 points one. McVay is 3-25. So apparently it's just not as easy as I guess
as what it sounds
like. But that could be, again, I don't know. That.
But even McVay's got 3. Even McVay's got 3.
Right. No one else
smaller
has 1.
sample size.
No one else has 1 or 0. So it's a very interesting situation. Obviously, Kyle Shanahan's a great coach.
Right.
But when it comes to winning the big one, which he has not done yet, things aren't always.
Well, think about the Chiefs, how they've won the last couple Super Bowls.
Exactly.
Come back from behind victories. I mean, what, the Niners weren't the Niners up 10 in that Super Bowl?
Yeah, so they weren't going to get it that way. They got it the other way, unfortunately. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, crosstalk with the Drive Guys, Whitey and Draper, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL?
Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave letting you know Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room and primetime football location is back. Cap Casino giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Check it out, Capital Casino. And as always, please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
For 35 years, TruckSmart has been your local leader in truck accessories. Find racks, toolboxes, and lighting for your work truck, and trailer hitches, side steps, and bed covers for recreation. They have shells for work or play, and offer Rhino lining, the best bed protection in the business. You like overlanding? TruckSmart has rooftop tents, recovery gear, and heavy-duty bumpers. Trust your ride to their skilled installers and expert sales staff at the Rockland and Auburn locations. TruckSmart. Your truck's gonna love them. TruckSmart.com.
Individual rates, offerings, and savings may vary, subject to terms and conditions. Not available in all states and situations.
Hey, small business owner. Are you ready to have the best year ever in 2024? When's the last time you checked your workers' comp rate? For many small businesses, workers' comp insurance is one of their biggest costs. But Pi Insurance could save you up to 30% in just 3 minutes. Go to trypi.com, share a few details about your business, and get a quote that's customized for your business. No hassles or hidden fees. We know you're busy, but spending just a few minutes to check your rate could make this your best year ever. Plus, when you sign up for pay-as-you-go billing, your premium is based on your actual payroll, not an estimate. So your workers' comp audit experience is simplified. See how much you could save with Pi Insurance. Ask your agent for Pi or get a quote at trypi.com. That's trypie.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
With wet weather here, you're probably going to play a few rounds in the rain, so keep a few things in mind in those wet conditions. The ball probably won't go as far because you'll get little, if any, run out. If you tend to hit the ball low, maybe think about adjusting the loft of your driver to carry the ball farther. And when you get to the short clubs on the wet ground, your wedge can have a tendency to dig into the turf, so focus on hitting the ball first. And if you occasionally spin the ball back on the greens, expect more of that to happen when they're wet. Now, all of this assumes that you're ready to play in the rain. You own waterproof shoes and rain gear, rain gloves, which work best when wet, and an extra towel to keep everything else dry. But the most important thing you should bring to the first tee is a positive attitude. I found some of my most memorable rounds have been played in the rain. Overcoming the conditions to enjoy yourself while possibly shooting a good score makes for a great day. And remember, golf is a game, even in the rain. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Hey, y'all. This is Bill with the Good Guys. Call Good Guys Heating and Cooling now. Tired of overpriced repairs? Call the Good Guys. Jaw-dropping quote for a new HVAC system? Call the Good Guys. Don't trust the other guys. Call the Good Guys. We offer free second opinions. Family owned and operated, always ready to serve the community. We offer the best service, best price, guaranteed. And that's no bull.
Call 530-GOOD-AIR. License number 1057618.
The only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sactown Sports.
We are back, Sactown Sports, Stiles and Watkins, joined by the Drive guys. Whitey and Draper, how are you guys doing?
What's up, fellas?
Call last night.
Yeah.
Don't blame me. Right.
You know, it's so I'm 1-2 so far on the season. I called the opener. Utah got the win, so that felt good. But since then, both Warrior games I've been on the call for, and we've lost. Last night was a heartbreaker too.
Yeah, that's tough.
We didn't even get beat by Steph.
Yeah.
That's what's so upsetting.
Right.
Yeah, got beat by Klay freaking Thompson. You know, and so that was hard to swallow last night.
Yeah, we had a checklist going for the Kings and what we were hoping to see from them, and they checked off a lot of them. But the problem was things that we didn't even have on the checklist besides maybe Kevin Huerter getting going. they didn't do, right? And when you play good defense, that's all fine and dandy. But when Kevin Huerter and Keegan Murray combined for 21 points,
they just missed a ton.
It's just going to be rough.
Sometimes it can be that simple.
Yeah.
Just watching it and then verifying and looking at the numbers, they just missed a ton of shots.
Yeah.
That game last night.
Not just from the field either. The Domas free throws as well. You can't. They had a lot of open looks too. That's the thing that really is most discouraging, I guess, about the shots that they missed is a lot of Keegan Murray's 0 of 7 was he had space. He had a lot of space, a lot of time to hit it. It just wasn't their night. It really felt like one of those days where, especially in basketball, it's a make or miss league, and sometimes you just don't make your shots. And you can't have better looks than what they had last night from the perimeter. They just didn't go down.
I checked the shot chart today, and from the foul line, under the foul line, and inside the bottom of the circle. So that's 10 to 15 feet.
Yeah.
They were 0 for 7 in that area. Between the bottom
just
of the
that
circle
little,
and the foul line.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's crazy.
Is this a sign of, because you said it the other day, they need to make shots. And for the second straight game against the Warriors, and we could go back to the playoffs,
right?
They have not made shots against these teams. Are they tight when they go against Golden State? Their butt cheeks a little, squeezed together. I mean, let's get
a little nervous.
I'm just asking the question because
Good
this seems like, time and time again, it comes down. They didn't make shots, and they didn't make shots last night.
Yeah, that towards the end of when they were up 11, I think that was mid third quarter. It felt like, and then something happened. As once they can start to taste the victory, things change a little bit, and you didn't have De'Aaron to maybe steady everything. And the end of that third, things get a little closer, thinking, "Oh, here we go." And then that fourth quarter, they just completely did not know what to do offensively. It just turned into the Malik Monk show, which I don't necessarily mind. But then when it doesn't end in a bucket, that's when things got tough. I mean, their defense did well, but offensively, it's just it was tough. And maybe part of that is, and we talked about this as well, the defense playing so well. People don't pay enough attention to the fact that defense takes energy. And you need energy to shoot the basketball, right?
Yes, sir.
So
you need your legs.
You need your legs. So how connected was that Keegan goes 0 for 7, but it was the best defense that he's ever played on Steph?
Yeah, you never know, but it's a great point. Great point. I thought they defended really well. I know Kyle was there, but I mean, there were a lot of really positive signs defensively, I thought.
Right, and right from the opening tip, right? All game long, I thought they played great defensively. They, forced turnovers. Steph Curry never really got comfortable.
Mixed in the zone.
I thought the zone was fantastic.
Yeah.
When you looked at last night, I was driving in, I was thinking, man, Mike Brown outcoached Steve Kerr last night.
Yeah.
He deserved that win last night. The zone really befuddled Golden State, and the Kings should have won. But I go back to the fourth quarter, guys. Friday night, and I pulled up the numbers against the Warriors, they were 2 of 9 in the fourth from 3-point range. Last night, as I pull it up right here, they struggled once again from fourth quarter 3-point range, 0 of 4.
Yeah.
So those two games combined, you're 2 of 12 or 2 of 13
in the closing
quarter from 3-point range.
And we had Kevin Dana on earlier, play-by-play guy for the Santa Cruz Warriors, and I asked him, taking it to
why don't you just have Bob Fitzgerald on? Why don't you just have Mike Dunleavy? Why don't you just have Steve Kerr on?
We had to review. We actually wanted Steph, but he was busy.
He is busy, right?
And I asked him, just like Smokey had mind control over Debo, do the Kings or do the Warriors have mind control over the Kings? Is it that mental thing? And Chris and I even spoke. I said, I don't know. I might sound crazy, but I'd rather the Kings face the Nuggets first round of the playoffs than the Kings again.
Or Warriors,
I hate to say it, but in some ways it reminds me of the old days of the rivalry where the Kings just wanted to beat the Lakers so bad, and you knew they could, and they knew they could, but they didn't do it. And it did seem to get in their heads a little bit.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just glad that the Kings don't play the Warriors for, 20-something days?
26 more days.
See, Chris has a count.
November 28th.
28th, yeah.
Wow.
It's just too many times. It's just way too many
And that's a big game. Final game of the in-season tournament
in
pool play. That could be a chance to advance to the knockout stage. So that's going to be another big one.
Interesting.
It just doesn't end. It just does not end.
Nope. Another big game. How do you guys feel about a big talking point for us today was just the moral victories, and this more specifically for this game, just moral victory of this game. Is it okay to feel like just because the Kings didn't get the result that you can feel positively about the way they played yesterday? Or, this is a results-oriented business, still an L in the loss in the loss column. So is there no place for moral victories in basketball?
See, to me, there's two different things. Those are two different, moral victory. When I hear that, I'm feeling good. The loss didn't bother me. No, that loss last night bothered the heck out of me. Sure, Kobe Jones looked good. I thought Davion played well. There were some positive signs. Defensively, they got after it. But at the end of the day, I don't think there are any moral victories, because at the end of the season, we'll look back and see the record 48-32, and we will look back and be like, dang, they should have beat the Warriors on this date, November 1st. And so for now, it's some encouraging signs, but I didn't wake up feeling any better about last night just because Kobe Jones played well. Eventually, you got to beat these guys,
Yeah.
And I think against the Warriors, we're way past the stage of moral victories. Like, they're in our heads right now. They're making – I was at the arena last night. You guys saw it on TV. They were celebrating like they won the championship last night, that crowd. The streamers coming down and everything. And so forget the moral victories. We got to beat these guys. That's my thought.
I think there's some semantics involved, moral victory, but to your point,
encouraging signs.
Yeah, I felt more encouraged than discouraged by the loss overall. And it took me a while to get there because, that was a
definitely a gut punch. I mean, that's a punch in the face.
Kick in the crotch. That was tough.
Yeah.
But then it's like, wow, there were some good signs and some things to build on.
I think if whether you want to use the term moral victory or not, how I viewed it was moral victory, yes, but also a missed opportunity. Because that was a missed opportunity where they did everything. Yeah. They did everything right.
The game was for the taking.
The game was for the
Warriors
taking.
were giving it to them.
Yes, the Warriors were gassed.
Do you want this ball?
Please. And they said, no, sir. Yeah. No, thank you. You can have this W.
I'm full. Thank you.
Right. I'm full. I cannot have seconds or first in this case because they're trying to beat them for the first time this season. And I mean, in terms of the whole Klay Thompson one-shot thing, can we be honest? If that was a shot that was, hey, wow, what are the chances? That's a bonus shot, had no business going in anyway.
I didn't love it. I didn't love it going in.
A bank from the top of the key.
Oh, you're talking about bonus shot?
Okay. Yes, a bonus
I thought you were
is
talking about play shot.
No, it's a bonus is bank shot.
Come
on now.
You'll tell you how you can get beggars can't be choosers, man.
When it went in,
as long as it goes in.
I know everybody in Sacramento was going nuts, and just like that, the deflation from Klay Thompson. It was great defense. It was great defense, the way they set it up. And Whitey, you were talking with Chris during the break about the scheme that Mike Brown has been doing, where it's let's get Davion on Draymond to kind of
negate the screen.
Negate the switch.
I think they call it pre-switching.
Yeah, the pre-switching, and that reminds me of 8 Mile when B Rabbit went to Papadoc and said everything he was going to say, so he had nothing to say. Yeah. So it was great. Okay, you've seen it. So I think it was a great game plan, but it didn't work out for the Kings. But I think Chris did a great job breaking down the whole moral victory thing.
He always does.
And he brought me back. He brought a lot of Kings fans back. I think Kings fans are still feeling good, but you better get these in Houston and De'Aaron Fox.
Got to.
Don't rush back. But if you are listening right now, do rush back, because when we get back from the break, it is The Drive, guys, with Whitey and Draper. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's up, Sacramento?
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type GM of the Year, Coach of the Year,